All right, and we are live. So, if you guys are all set, I will do a quick recap here. Any questions at the end, just let me know. Like I said, we'll dive right in. Just a quick note that Wes's player, who's playing Eustis, is out tonight. His wife is potentially having a baby, so congrats for him. And we will just say that Eustis is continuing his lecture down at the Museum of Cyrus today while you guys finish up your research and pick things up. So let's see. Last session, you guys basically traveled around. You went into Father Damas. He gave you that little note. Do I have the picture of it still? I believe I do. Yeah, this right here. So he gave you this piece of paper showing the different graves that have been dug up. He wanted you guys to look into it. The brown cloaks, or they're often called the brown cloaks, the guards of the city. But, the military people and stuff like that just didn't have the time for this to really go out and research what was going on. And it was something that you guys could help him, since he was quite concerned about this, being a priest himself. Ultimately, you guys headed out to the first one, to the Silva family and the Manzanata family. You met Old Gum. He was a crazy old guy. Made friends with him. Leytrix didn't seem too impressed with him, but he kind of told you a little bit about this Silva and Manzanata. You guys researched these graves that were dug up, seen some bare footprints around. Looked like they're actually dug with a shovel. You also met Captain Hellstrom out there, who was the city guard captain, one of the captains anyway. Seemed like a decent guy. He told you that he thought it was people just digging up the graves and selling the bodies back to the Museum of Cyrus, where they do research and like dissection and medical research and stuff like that on them. So he wasn't overly concerned about it, but he did, let you guys know if he had any questions, to let him know he'd be able to help what he could. He was just really short on staff, and they were really busy right now. From there, you guys went out to the Gaddick family farm. That's where the old man, his Papa, they called him Papa Gaddick, and he was buried in the backyard of these guys, of this farm. The young lad that was there said that he saw his grandfather get up and walk away from the grave. And again, that one was clean cut, dug out with a shovel. From there, you went to the Sunbright Estate, which is a very rich, to-do mansion. They seemed to have absolutely no interest in what you guys were doing there. Kind of treated you like crap, and at some point they thought you were servants that were supposed to be working. When you did get out back finally to the actual tomb that was taken, you noticed that it was a big, heavy stone, like mausoleum tomb type thing, but the front doors of this thing was literally blowing apart into rubble. They had soot, burn marks and stuff across it. And the same thing with the sarcophagus inside, that was blown apart as well. In there, Leytrix, is where you found a scrap of like a white piece of cloth or something. It wasn't like an uncommon fabric or anything, but it was definitely some sort of clue you could go off of. From there, you went out to the Eastern Boneyard, which is just a total shithole of a cemetery. That's where the poor pretty much just toss their dead. They don't have the time or the money or resources to bury them. What few bodies are actually buried are more just kind of thrown in a ditch and covered with a little bit of dirt and a stick stuck in the ground, and they call it good. There was kind of a middle-aged man that was kind of bent over top of a body that was messing around with it. Leytrix, you and kind of intercepted him and started talking to him. Learned that he was a mute, but he did kind of pantomime back and forth with you a little bit. He gave him a few coins so that he'd get some food and a place to sleep for the night. In return, he showed you the graves that he saw. He kind of pantomimed like a woman that was kind of dancing around or something, which kind of fit with the other rumors he heard of a woman in a white dress that was dancing through these graves. He showed you where those were. Again, didn't really pick up anything overly interesting here, but kind of follow the same path of the clues that you were following from there. The last place you hit was the Fullett family farm. This had a huge obese woman sitting on the porch. Looked like she was maybe sewing up something. Whole bunch of kids running around. They were tackling the goat and playing with each other, hitting each other with sticks, and basically just being a bunch of annoying little tots. You guys talked to this lady. She had like trinkets kind of hanging from the trees, little skulls and like dream weavers and stuff like that. Leytrix, that made you quite sick to your stomach. Excuse me. And she was saying that was to ward off witches. She seemed to be really superstitious. Not necessarily crazy, but she seemed like, she was a little more superstitious than normal people. She constantly blamed all this on witches. She was worried about witches. She told you that Father Damas's sister was a witch. She was part of the Corvis Coven, which is a group of 5 women who were executed for witchcraft several years before, about 20 years ago, roughly. She like I said, she mentioned that it was Father Damas's sister. She likes Father Damas. She figured he was a very nice gentleman and stuff. His sister, however, she was not impressed with it all, and she didn't seem to really like Alexia very much either. She seemed to say the same sort of thing, that she didn't trust that girl, being that she wasn't straight into the books. When you guys checked out the grave out back, that too was kind of blown out, and then you seen a few of the bare footprints around it. I think Leytrix, you tried to call one of the kids over to talk to them. They all ended up tackling you, kicking you in the shin, pulling at your ears, and roughhousing with you a little bit. Poor Zach was like scared to death that you were going to hateful defecate all these little children. So he finally got them distracted with a goat and sent them on their way. A younger girl did talk to you though, Leytrix. She said that she saw a woman in a dress as well that was out there. And she gave you a small little dangling earring, of little, like an emerald earring of some sort, kind of dangles. And said that she found that next to the grave of her father that was now missing, which his name was Chander. From there, you guys made your way back to the Church of Marrow for the evening. It's dinner time, so you guys, as you kind of come into the Church of Marrow, Father Damas was sitting at the table just finishing his prayers along with a few clergy people that he has. And, you know, starting to eat, he offered you guys to go ahead and have a seat and, you know, set your plates up and stuff. As you guys were talking with him a little bit, you learned, well, you did ask him about this whole Corvis Coven and his sister and stuff. He admitted that his sister was put to death, through a beheading, because of witchcraft. However, let me get rid of this thing. Stop that. However, he told you that it wasn't, that the whole thing was basically just a false. There was a guy named Magistrate Borlock who was trying to vie for power. He was originally a tax collector, started moving up through the ranks, gained a lot more power faster than what he should have. But he's the one who charged these group of 5 women, the leader of this group per se, being Father Damas's sister, as witches. Father Damas denied this vehemently, you know, that his sister was not a witch. The whole thing was just a false accusation for, you know, whatever it was that Magistrate Borlock had, or for whatever reason that he targeted these women. Ultimately, they were put on trial, went through the whole process. They were all found guilty, and they were all beheaded. And from there, Father Damas wasn't really sure what happened to the bodies. He knows that they were put away in a tomb, but he didn't have access to that information. So that's when he took in Alexia as his daughter. It's technically his niece. He looks at her as a daughter, as he's trying to raise her since her mother was murdered, as he puts it. So we kind of went through that. He mentioned that at the time, Magistrate Borlock worked for the ex-king. His name was Vinter Railthorn. He was just a horrible tyrant of a king. And eventually his brother, the now King Leto, overthrew King Vinter. Ended up putting the man to, well, he was sentenced for death, this ex-king, but he somehow escaped from his confinements. They was said that he took off in a hot air balloon across the desert waste to the west, or to the east, sorry, and nobody's ever heard from this guy since. And that was a good decade ago, a little bit over. Since then, King Leto has risen to power. Things have went really well. The economy is booming. The cities have been cleaned up, and the whole kingdom itself, the kingdom of Signar, is doing very well. Magistrate Borlock, because he was a henchman of King Vinter at the time, he too has disappeared off the map. Nobody's heard from him, as well as most of the other lackeys. Only other thing was the Inquisition, which was King Vinter forces, or police force, basically. They carries for hire, thugs, brigands, bandits, them kind of people now. They're still around. Most of them can be noticed because of a tattoo that they hold on their forearms. But for the most part, they've pretty much phased themselves out as well. So as he kind of finished detailing this for you guys, you heard the door open over kind of in the chamber, and Alexia came in. Zach, I believe it was you that got up and, you know, pulled the chair out for her to help her have a seat. You were curious to check on her hands to see if they were dirty or blistered or anything, which they were perfectly fine. But what you did notice was that in her left ear, this earring that she had matched the exact same one that this young girl gave to Leytrix. And I let it hang right there at the end of the session, so that is where we will pick up. So you guys are all around this table. Roland, you had to leave basically for your church sermons and stuff, and you headed back to help Father Damas. So you would have been there as well. Okay. I'll leave it up to you guys. What you want to do is you kind of stand there, Zach, as you're getting ready to, you know, push Alexia into her seat so she can start having dinner, and you notice that. Father Damas gives you a bit of a look, and then, you know, kind of almost like a thankful nod for being a proper gentleman, Zach. And then he goes back to eating.
Yeah, and as Zach's kind of realizing this earring is the match of what Leytrix has, he shoots the look over to Leytrix and kind of like eyes darting towards her ears. And I believe at the time Leytrix had the earring actually on the table or something, or like.
Yeah, she snatched it up really quick though.
Yeah, and then just trying to. I guess Roland wouldn't know this because he wouldn't have been with us yet. But I'm trying to like keep my cool, pushing the chair in, but I almost like. Not gag, but like start coughing in realization that like the earring's missing. Just like, and then like stumble and put her in the chair and like, there you go, my lady, and would nervously walk over to my chair and sit back down, just like wide-eyed.
Alexia, offer a thankful nod towards you, Zach. And so, what have you fellows been up to today? Just kind of glances at each of you.
We were looking around the graveyards, trying to just see the city, I guess. And yeah, we went to the graveyards.
I've heard that they've been quite dangerous lately with all these grave robberies. You must be a brave man, Zach.
Yeah, some would definitely say that. I'm never one to toot my own horn, but I have fought several ogres.
One.
So you can hear me now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that weird mic thing happened to me. I know what it is. The cord comes out slightly and then it turns the mic off. But anyways, so I would like to back up just slightly. When Zach looks at me, I also, because maybe he kind of points to her ear a little bit, you know what I mean? I noticed it as well. She did take the cloth and the earring, palm it, kind of maybe even maybe sleight of hand style or whatever. You know what I mean? And she also notices that dress looks familiar, like the fabric you said, right? Like
yep.
It's kind of the
looks
same
like the same fabric. Yep.
Yeah. All right. And I would just very, very nonchalantly give Zach a little bit of a nod, and I don't know what I missed, so whatever's happening now is good.
Yeah, I would just instantly deter the conversation and be like, so Roland, the sermons you had to go to today, how did those go?
Oh yes, they were fine. A lot of prayers involved. It was great.
It sounds like a wonderful time.
Father Dumas nods. Young Roland put on a beautiful sermon this morning. We laid to rest Adelard's bones in his chamber below the cathedral. Can't thank this young man enough.
It's very honorable of you, Roland. And she's, as you guys know, she's a little awkward. She's trying to be a good girl, but at the same time, she doesn't give a fuck that you went and did that today. You know what I mean? So it's but she's trying to be engaged, but she's also hasn't taken her eyes off of Alexia since we've noticed the information.
So you can, Alexia, she listens to her uncle and the rest of you kind of banter. She kind of plays around with her food. She doesn't seem too interested in it. She kind of looks up at her father across the way, or her father Damas, her uncle. She's like, "Are you feeling well, uncle?" He just kind of looks at her for a moment and gives a bit of a nod. It's been a very long, stressful day, Alexia. I think I'll retire to bed early. You can see Alexia kind of place her fork down and scoot her chair back. She's like, "Please, I will get your chambers ready, uncle." She kind of looks at the rest of you. She's like, "All of you, I bid you good evening. I'm going to set him up. He's had a long day. And, I've done a lot of research today at the library." And she looks to you, Leytrix. She says, "I've took out several books on your heritage. Perhaps we could chat about it later."
I think it sounds like a wonderful idea, Alexia. How How long do you think it would take for you to get your uncle's chambers ready?
Oh, well, I'm gonna get his chambers, and I'm gonna, get myself cleaned up. Perhaps in an hour or so, I could stop by your room.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be a problem at all. That sounds wonderful. And she's trying to play off the fact that she wants her to go away. Because she's going to go and check out her chambers. That's what he wants to do. So
I'll pray for your uncle, Lady Alexia.
Thank you, Roland. Uncle, I will set your chambers up. And she kind of excuses herself from the table and bustles out. She snatches up this little pile of books that she has. You can see her go up the loft railing and kind of disappear around the corner.
As she stands up, Leytrix stands up with her. Could I join you?
She says, well, I'm going to get myself cleaned up. Perhaps, I'll be happy to meet you in your chambers in just a short while.
That sounds good.
Would you like a bath drawn as well, Leytrix?
That was quite enjoyable last night.
Yeah, you guys should totally hang out. That's a great idea. Just kind of like blurt out mid-conversation.
I'm glad you're making friends.
I think that as well. Take your time.
Yay for girls' night.
Yay! Yeah, she gives you guys a bit of a nod as she kind of hurries away. Father Damas finishes the last couple bites of food that he has. He doesn't seem too hungry as well, leaving quite a bit on his plate as he sets it aside. He says, "Gentlemen, my lady, if you'll excuse me for the night. It's been a very long day, a stressful day."
Father, I know that we haven't had the chance to talk. Really. And you're the only person in this town that doesn't look as if I'm an alien. So my heart hurts for what happened to your family and with your sister. Yes, I share some of the abilities that would make me a witch. And she looks around to see who's in the room, and it's just the four of us, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I can understand, and I can't imagine living in fear like that. People looked at me as if my abilities were a gift and a very special skill set that made it so it was because I have a very special skill set. She reiterates, you know what I mean? It's my heart is deeply saddened for your sister, and that's Alexia's mother. Is that correct?
It was, yes. She was just a young child at the time. Alexia was.
Did your sister have the gifts as well? He meant to talk. He meant to talk over. Does she have do you think she has the ability to cast magic?
Alexia? No. To be honest, my sister, she was a priestess here. I've never seen any sort of witchcraft that she could cast. She helped to heal people, but I wouldn't call that witchcraft.
Right. Just because you can cast magic doesn't mean that you're a witch.
Exactly.
And just because you can cast destructive magic, as she calls it, would also not necessarily make you a witch. It's just that's a type of gift you were given. Would you agree with that as well, Father?
Most certainly. It's how you use it that labels what you are.
And for a very long time, I used it for not the best circumstances, but I'm very much trying to become part of that. And she cringes a little bit when she says it. Maybe that straight and narrow path. But I can't take the abilities away that I already have. So I just want to say to you that I commend you, for you knew what I was when you first met me, and I could see it in your eye. Thank you.
Well, says Leytrix, I treat all of the God's children's, whatever God they may be, as one. Says, I judge them by their actions. I have no reason to not trust you. You protected Gunnar's caravan. even if he was concerned of your abilities. And these men, he kind of points to Zach and especially Roland. If they trust you, then I do as well. He says, don't let the past hinder the future, Leytrix. It's a short life after all.
I can completely agree with that, Father. I wish I shared the same God as you. She shares what God? It was the one that was. It's not the old God. It was the one that was more taken on.
Minoth or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Minoth. I practice to the God of blah, blah, blah. And and it's I'm just a product of my environment, Father, and I just want you to know that I am a person that you can trust, and that these men here, they gained my trust, and I gained theirs. Me and Zach were the newest two together, but the other two men, I would protect them with everything I have. I give up everything for those two men.
He nods, kind of bows a little bit and says, "Oh, it's good of you. Keep your actions like they are, and I think we'll have a wonderful relationship. You'll be the first elf I've ever truly met on a one-to-one basis. But if you must excuse me, ladies, gentlemen," kind of steps back. I will see you all for breakfast, I presume.
Zach nods.
Yeah,
he's visibly waiting for the father to leave because he obviously wants to tell Roland everything that's going on.
Yeah,
so he's basically turning red, holding his breath and anxiously waiting to
And
everything.
Leytrix doesn't see that or get it even. She's just she's interested in 100% clearing her name just to make sure that he knows she now has heard what happens in this town, and she wants a little bit of back. Basically, maybe is what it comes down to. So sorry guys, I think she needed to do that a little bit.
I'm completely oblivious to everything going on.
Right. I can imagine. But when he rises, she rises as a show of respect. And says, "Good eve, Father. It'll be wonderful to see you in the morning."
He nods, kind of offers his little triangle bow, and kind of scuttles away. You can see he slowly makes his way up these stairs up to the loft above as well. Down at the end of the table, the other clergymen kind of quickly pick up their stuff as the father's left, so they kind of gather their things around and scoot out, leaving just the three of you sitting there for the moment. Eustis is staying down at the museum for the evening with his lectures, so you won't see him till the following day. So just the three of you.
Quite busy right now.
As soon as the room is silent, he lets out an audible sigh, and then you just recapped it, so I'm not going to say everything, but just relays everything that they learned to Roland about how people say that they see this girl dressed in white dancing around the graveyards, that someone's raising the dead, that we found this earring, and that it matches the earring that Alexia has, and she's missing one, and that Leytrix found a piece of cloth that matches her cloth, and that the sisters were witches, and he's just going rapid fire speech, all this, just unloading it on Roland at once.
Does that
what do you think, Roland? Do you think it's really her?
Yeah, does that mean anything to you, Roland?
Well, it seems to add up that it is her.
But look,
we need to investigate further, I think.
She seems so innocent, and I don't know. I can't imagine a girl like that being a necromancer.
To my people, I look innocent.
I'm sure that doesn't last too long. He kind of
not when they see my gifts, and that's what she calls them. She calls them her gifts. You know what I mean? But I appear to be. Just because I look a little bit like a witch and so on and so forth to the human eyes, it's not so much in where I come from. But I really believe that I know the reason for us rendezvousing this evening, Alexia and I.
I think it's a perfect opportunity for me and Roland to sneak into her room and see if we can find anything. Not in a creepy way, Roland. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I'm not like Eustis or anything, but I feel like we can't accuse this girl of such a terrible thing unless we have more proof than an earring and some cloth.
I agree.
Yes. Part of the reason I was asking if I could go with her is I was going to coax her out of her clothing per se. Not
No,
like
God.
that.
We don't want to know that.
Yeah.
What you do behind the doors is your business.
I chose wrong words. If she was wearing something that wasn't a white dress, then both of the white dresses, because she said she had two, that they would be in her quarters. So, and then we'd be able to maybe match up that fabric to it. It's I think that's going to be our best bet for trying to figure this out. And he hands over the piece of fabric to Zach. He keeps the ear. She keeps the earring.
Yeah, you distract her. We don't want to know about how. And we'll go in.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Zachary?
Yes, pretty.
It could be. It could be very interesting to watch.
Hard pass.
What about you, Roland?
No.
Do you have dreams of women? Because I know that you're a priest or such. Have you ever been with one?
No, I'm celibate.
And it's just deadpan shock on her face, just like. Well, I guess I'll make up for you then. It's I'm going to retire to my quarters, gentlemen. I don't. For this to work, I'll tell you what. I will. When she is secured into my room, and I feel it's good enough, I will. I will give a double foot stomp. That will mean that she is probably not a bad time for you to go and investigate.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out. I don't think anyone will question Roland walking around here anyways.
Nope.
Yeah, it's pretty lucky us having you around here. I just thought you were going to be a good healer for us. You know, that's why I found your services so enticing, Roland, right?
Well, I'm
I
glad
kill
I could
things
be
and you make them better.
useful. Yes.
All right. Well, you go to your room, and you do you, and me and Roland will get the rest done.
Yeah. If she gets up, I imagine in my head that Zach was sitting next to him, and she just kind of rubs her hand along his head as she walks by him. I hope to do somebody else tonight. And that's what she does to walk away as she walks away.
He gives a shiver. I'm sure Leytrix isn't unattractive, but he has no interest in her in that kind of way. So maybe it's all the times that you've made creatures shit on him. It's just kind of like.
What's that lizard doing?
But yeah,
yeah, you guys can retire to your rooms without any problems.
Now,
Leytrix,
are we staying on the same floor all together?
staying in the what?
Are we all on the same floor?
No, they're you're one floor below the men.
Too bad it wasn't the other way.
we would just like hang outside, like if there's like maybe a bench or something, or like even like a kind of patio near her room, so that when we see her go in, that we just instantly, like, obviously, like, not be creepy like Eustis and stand by the door and wait around. Wherever we could inconspicuously hang around Leytrix's door, or maybe even like just hang out in her room, and then once she gets there, we'll just be like, okay, girls' night, see you later.
Yeah, absolutely. She would actually turn around and say that. I came up with a concept, gentlemen. Why don't we make as if we're conversing in my room, and when Alexia shows up, you gentlemen excuse yourselves.
That is a great idea, Leytrix.
That is very smart.
You are the brains of this operation. Let's go.
Well, I don't know. It had to be said in character. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just bugging you.
So you guys retire into Leytrix's room, for the night, kind of hanging out for a little bit. You can see where Alexia set up a little table that has some just like chilled cheeses and a little thing of wine and stuff like that. As you kind of wait around, you can hear her door open down the hall and shut. You can hear her feet kind of padding down the hallway. It goes right past your door for the moment, though, Leytrix. And then you guys hear it kind of fade away as another door opens and shuts. And you kind of left in silence for a few moments, a little bit longer. And, it's well past this hour when she was supposed to meet you, Leytrix. As you guys kind of hang out, it's like maybe 15, 20 minutes later. She still hasn't shown up.
I'd be shoving the cheese in my mouth. And it's like a mouthful of cheese, but like, you think she's barreling on you?
I don't know. She sticks her head. She sticks her head. She goes over to the door, sticks her head out the door, and looks the direction in which she heard the sound go.
It goes down the hall. There's another door, which would be like another room, like yours, beside you. And at the very end of the hall, there's a door, which you haven't seen what's down there.
Does it look like there's any candlelight, or because it's not electricity at this point? Any candlelight or anything like that for that I can see under the door frame?
Nope. Looks dark.
Roland, what if she knows that we know? Do you think she knows, Roland?
I really couldn't say right now.
Man, I hope she doesn't.
I'll tell you. And she looks back. She goes, "There's two doors down there." And she goes over. She raps on Alexia's door.
There's no answer.
Okay. She walks back past and goes, "One more moment." She peeks her head in and says that to the gentleman. And she goes down, and I would like to go as quietly as I can. I know there's like no stealth or anything like this in this, but I guess we can do an agility roll or whatever. But as quietly as she possibly can. And she just wants to kind of get. She's gonna hug the wall on where the door where hers is. Okay. And then she just wants to kind of listen to see if there's anything coming from either of those two rooms. Any sound.
You kind of slide along the wall to that first door. You don't hear anything beyond it. You don't see any candlelight under the door. If you try the handle, it's locked as well. As far as you know, nobody was even staying in there, but it's just another guest room. Slide down to the end of the hallway. It's just basically just one long hallway, but the other door is against the end of the hall. Like it would be on that side of the manor or the chapel, cathedral, whatever. Go up to that one and listen. You don't hear anything again. You can see where the door was not completely shut, though. It hangs open, maybe just like half an inch or so.
I'd have her go back, and she'll go back and report that information to the gentleman and go, I'm gonna play like I'm lost and that I was looking for her. If you hear a scuffle, please come help me. I wouldn't want to have to make everybody shit themselves today.
Zach's just like peeling off grapes from the cheese platter, putting in the mouth. Yeah, man, these grapes are great. Roland, you want any? Yeah, sure, Leytrix. We'll be there. Don't worry.
All right, we'll come.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. And she goes down and sneaks down again to where the door is and does that like standing out of the door frame. And well, no, she's not going to do that. She's going to open the door and make it, if somebody's in there, like she's lost.
Yeah, you kind of push that door open. It swings right open. Nice fresh oil hinges and stuff. Pretty quietly as it kind of swings open. It looks to be in just another basic little bedchamber, a little bit smaller than the one you're in, not quite as fancy. But it has a nice big balcony that's sitting outside. You can see that the doors, these French doors that open up onto the balcony, are open. You have a nice nice warm breeze that flows through. Nobody's in there though. The room is empty. It's just the doors are open to the balcony. The balcony's empty.
She would definitely go out and take a look. Look around real good. Does it look like anything was a rope, anything like that? Any way of escaping from this balcony?
Give me a perception roll.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Give yourself one boon.
Yep. 24.
Beautiful. Kind of look around. You can see on the railing a few little strands of what looks to be like a heavier rope or something. Still kind of dangle there in the breeze. It looks like maybe she set up just like a simple little slip knot or something that she would have had over, and then whoever dropped it down loosened the rope and took it with them. But there's still the few remains of these like decayed frays hanging off the edge of the balcony, kind of blowing in the wind.
Okay. I would gather the remnants of those fibers. And nothing else on this balcony? Nothing else in this room?
Nope. And it's, kind of later in the evening, so the sun is set. So you can see like the lights of the city and stuff propping up. There's a few people that wander by in the streets below, but you don't see her or nothing.
Okay. Yeah, it's she would definitely go back to the fellas, explain what she saw, show them the fibers.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
It kicked me out. Give me just a sec.
Hello?
Hello.
Did you get dropped from the call too, or? Oh,
Yeah,
Morgan.
everybody. I think everybody did.
Oh, weird.
There we go. That was weird.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Ooh.
Did it kick you guys out?
Yeah, I
too?
think it dropped everybody.
But now it's really super robot for me. I'm gonna jump out and go back in again. See if that fixes it.
Good old Hangouts.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was me for a second, but because I have internet issues here, but
We all back.
we back.
Yeah, let me fix my windows real quick, and I'll be back to normal.
And as you're doing that, when Leytrix finishes telling the story, I would just say that, well, we don't really know where she's going, so maybe if we go check out her room, she's not here. Or maybe she's not here. Maybe we can find out something in her room, and then...
Was that door locked of hers?
It's what you were doing, so I don't know if... Did you head down there?
No.
Well, what happened is that I came back, I explained to the fellas what I observed. I showed them the fibers, you know what I mean? That it was clearly a rope, you know what I mean? They've all seen rope before. So, they'd probably agree with me. And I, then that's when probably Zach said that, that it would be a good idea for us to go check. She's probably not here.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys head out, you go down to her door. You don't hear anything. If you try the handle, it is locked.
Are they huge, thick doors? Or are they kind of rickety?
They're quite fancy.
Are the door hinges on the inside or on the outside of the door?
The door would open inward.
Door would open inward, so that means the hinge side would also be on the inside of the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Does she happen to be like balcony or side room? Like could I climb
have
out the windows and
that side, no, it would be the back side of the cathedral. There would be the only main balcony would be on the front, which is the one that looks like she might have went down.
Okay.
She may have exited from.
She would have a window and stuff, certainly, but not like a huge one.
something would there be like ledges that I would deem probable that I could just like climb outside and into, or does that seem
if you go around outside and stuff, you probably would have seen it's a cathedral, you know, lots of handholds and stuff. It's definitely feasible to climb it without too part of a problem.
All right, I'm gonna Assassin's Creed it then. Parkour my way up there.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be before he leaves. I'll be on the other side waiting for you to unlock it.
Absolutely. I'd ask Brennen to come with me and like.
Hey, Roland, are you gonna go with him? Why don't you go with him to spot him just in case he was to fall?
Yes, I'll go with you.
Make sure no one sees me.
All right. Yeah, you move out of this place down, you know, back down the main loft area out the front doors. Kind of scoot your way around the back. You can see where Alexia's room would be. It's going to be a little bit of a tricky climb. Going up the side of this building wouldn't be too hard. But you're going to have to scale over a little bit. So I would need a climb check with 1 Bane.
1 Bane.
You have something that's going to help you as a profession.
I'm looking at my professions right now. Nah, I don't got anything that I can reason. All right, it's 1 Bane. Let's do it. Unfortunate. I rolled a 1.
So yeah, you start climbing your way up and get maybe 10, 15 feet up, and you can kind of grab a hold of one of these rocks that's coming out to give yourself leverage, and the whole thing just kind of crumbles. And you kind of fall back, hit the ground hard. You're not going to take any damage from it, but it definitely kind of hurts a little bit.
It's like, oh, my back. Not trying that again.
Up ahead where you look and you can see her window. It's open, you know, just large enough for somebody to kind of fit through. It looks like a bit of a drop, though, if you were to really get up there and not make it in.
Don't suppose you're any good at climbing, Roland, are you?
No. But I can try.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll boost you up, maybe. Maybe that will help, I'm sure. And I was
Watch
like,
out for that handhold.
Yeah. You see that hole up there? The brick came a little loose. Might want to keep an eye out for that. Can I like assist him maybe?
Yeah, if you want to assist him, that'll counteract the Bane, so it'll just be a straight up agility challenge roll.
Hey, let me boost you up, bud. Put your boot in my hands.
No. I did not pass that.
So you kind of heave up a little bit, and he's not really finding anything. Whatever he grabs a hold of either kind of crumbles or just can't quite get his fingers in there. Over to the side,
I don't think we're cut out for this climbing.
As you let him down, you hear kind of like the footsteps beside you. Both of you kind of look over. You see a younger man, maybe in his late teens, staring at you. He wears the typical clergy dress of the cathedral. He's like, stares at you for a few moments. Can I help you, fellas?
Oh, we're just doing some exercises. You know, got a total body workout here.
Gotta work this calves out.
You wouldn't understand. I just kind of do like a couple stretches, like, oh yeah, just a little climbing exercise.
Medieval CrossFit.
We do have a wonderful exercise room down below. I don't know if climbing the cathedral is really the best things. Did you maybe need help getting back to your room?
Can you help us get up here?
He says, well, are you trying to get back to your room? And he just kind of looks up at the open window.
Well, actually what happened is Roland here, we were visiting with Alexia, and his tome of Marrow, he accidentally left it in Alexia's room, and now he can't do his nighttime prayers before he goes to bed, and he just really needs to get that tome back. You wouldn't happen to have like a key to Alexia's room so he could just sneak in there really quick?
He says, but I have one better. He gets his pack out and he pulls out like the digest version of this Bible of Marrow. He says, I have an extra one right here, Roland.
I look at him, tear in my eye. My mother gave this to me before she died. It's finally important I get it back. I've never read any out of any other tome but this one.
And he kind of looks up, and it's in Alexia's room. He says, well,
you know me well. you give me the key, I'll bring it back to you.
Go ahead and do a will challenge roll. I'll give you one boon.
Oh, I got a strong 8. Can I use one of my reputation points here?
Yeah, it'll add an extra boon to it. Or re-roll your d20 if you want to do it that way. Depending on which one.
So you roll an extra d20?
Yep, that way you take the better of the 2 d20 rolls. Basically advantage.
No, okay, 8.
He says, I can't really give you the key to the mistress's room.
I understand.
He says,
did he motion that he had it on him? Like, was he at a point where he kind of pulled them out and was thinking about giving to us?
Yeah, you can see he's kind of reaching for his pocket.
I would be like, oh, that's all right. No worries. I understand. And hopefully he would like slowly start to walk away.
Yeah, he's like, I'm very sorry, fellows. Father Damas would have my head for that. He says, hopefully she'll be back shortly. If you need my Bible, though, you're welcome to it, Sir Roland.
The exercise rooms, though, you could show us the way, right? You can.
Yeah. I'll happily show you downstairs.
I'd put my arm around him, and as he's showing us, I'd use my criminal background of pickpocket to try to pickpocket the keys.
All right, go for it. Since
boon?
it's your profession, yep, you get a boon.
16.
There we go. So yeah, you kind of slip your hand in there, and you can maybe have him kind of dangling back towards Roland.
Yeah.
And the lad's like, well, Father Damas spoke highly of you fellows. He says you're looking out for the church and looking into these grave robberies. It's a strange thing. He says, but right this way, fellows. Kind of leads you through these front gates. Instead of going up the stairs to the second balcony, he kind of walks past that and opens the doors. It kind of leads down into the next level of the basement floor. He says, straight on down, just a simple exercise facility. We're not the most physical folks around here, but we like to try and keep in shape a little bit. And Father Damas is down there usually each morning. That's how he stays alive for so long, I think. But, you guys are more than welcome to use it. And, I hope you get your book back, Roland. Kind of gives you a bit of a nod with that triangle on his head and scurries away, heading back up the balcony or the loft area there.
And ideally, I wouldn't have had Roland even see that I pickpocketed the keys.
Oh, okay.
And then as we were standing at the workout room, I'd be like, as soon as the guy walks away, all right, let's go back upstairs. And then I'd kind of jingle the keys.
Well, what about the keys? The door's locked.
Oh. As soon as he says that,
okay, let's
go. We forgot our water skins, right, Roland? I'd kind of give him a little elbow.
Yeah.
And head up there.
Or like wine skin.
And I imagine that took a considerable amount of time that Leytrix has been at least waiting up there for a solid 10, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
We show up.
Leytrix, you can see them guys kind of coming up the stairwell beside you.
We're quite proud of ourselves.
She's definitely tapping her toe in annoyance.
Yeah, we
How took you guys so long?
Well, let's just say that climbing isn't mine and Roland's forte.
Yeah.
And then I'd say, but luckily,
okay.
Couple past experiences, growing up on the streets. Let's just say I'm better at some other things than climbing, and I would jingle the keys in front and be like, "Excuse me," and I'd start fumbling around and keep an eye out, make sure no one sees us.
Yeah, it's just a simple key ring, maybe 4 or 5 different keys in there. You go through a few of them before one finally clicks in her cell, and you can kind of feel it click over, and the door creaks open a little bit. And room, there's just a tiny little candle that looks like it's on a desk over in the corner. It's giving off this orange glow in the room.
All right, everyone, look for clues. Let's be quick. I hate to invade her privacy if she actually is innocent, but just see what everyone can find. How would you
I'll look around.
Well, who's looking where and for what kind of thing?
I would check her desk to maybe see, as much as I hate to say it, a diary or something, maybe where she would keep her personal thoughts.
Right. Kind of rifle through. Notice that there's several books on there. Look like the same ones that she came from the library with. But as you look through them, it looks like it's all like land deeds and things about the history of Corvis. You see a few pages have been bookmarked. When you flip them open, it talks about the trials of the Corvis Coven. She has a few different people's names highlighted. And you notice that as it kind of goes through, all these names that have been kind of marked down are the same ones on that paper that Father Damas gave you, those graves that have been missing. Every one of those names is matching up. Reading through, he realized that every one of these people that their graves have been robbed were juries or jurors on this trial for the Corvis Coven. Kind of flip through and you see that it has I have the pages. Maybe 5 names that also is showing the Corvis Coven. There was Deromia Smith, Kelwyn Sykes, Morgan Innswood, Aria Black, and Lexaria Dumas. And that one has like a little heart next to it, and it says "Miss You." That's kind of scrawled into, looks like red ink.
And as I'm reading through it, so essentially what I'm putting together is she's pulling out the bodies, or maybe it's her, but probably her. Is there like someone next on the list so that we could cut her off at the graveyard?
Nope. It shows that the whole juror was all of these people that you've already went through, the whole list of them. All of them are completely dug up and gone already. But that was the whole juror set. You can see Magistrate Borlock, and there's a big X through his name. And then down at the bottom of the page, it mentions that the executor, whoever beheaded these women, it's always a political thing to hide the identity of the person just for their safety and stuff like that. But it has just a big question mark. It says executioner and then a question mark, as if she's not quite sure. Beyond that, the other thing you notice as you kind of look through the other books is the last one. It looks like it's an outlay of the land. It's like a geography book. It has a bunch of notes about the Mirkwood Forest and the swamps. This one has a page that's bookmarked, and it's showing the Orgoth tomb. You look at it, and you remember passing by a road when you guys were headed into Corvis that had like a marker that was out there. At the time, you didn't really think about it at the moment, but as you kind of think back, you remember it saying the tomb of the Corvis Coven, and they had a little marker on the road. The page in this book has been marked out, and it shows just a real brief image of what looks to be you guys would know that the Orgoths were like an ancient civilization that lived in these lands at one time, but it's showing this Orgoth tomb is basically like a burial place for where these Orgoths used to bury their dead. And as you read kind of underneath that, the little geography and then history about this place, it mentions that the Corvis Coven was beheaded, executed in front of the Orgoth tombs, and they were buried within the tombs since the city didn't want to have them in the city, so they buried them in the outlying lands in the swamp, and left them out there to rot away, basically.
So yeah, I would have called everyone's attention once I started to find this, and I imagine we're all reading it together, putting it together, and I would look to Roland and Leytrix and ask, do you think she's going to where her mother was executed? This Yurgoth, or I think I said it right, tomb? Orgoth. Yeah, do you think that's her next move, or?
I really think that Let me see that piece of fabric again.
What is it?
That I gave you the
I'd hand it.
She's gonna open up her closet or whatever, you know what I mean, wherever she would store her clothing. And is there a white dress in there?
Yeah, there's a couple of different white dresses. You kind of flip through. There's a couple that do match the fabric, but if you look around on them, you don't see any tears on the dresses or anything like that. You don't see any hemming or stitching. They all look perfectly new or rarely worn.
I would like to look, do a very deep search of the room. I would like to roll perception with that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to she's an informant and so on and so forth. Like that's kind of one of her professions. I would think that with having that she would be probably fairly good at back when she was at the camp of maybe searching rooms, so on and so forth, giving information back to people. So could I have a bane for that? I mean a boon for that. I don't want a bane.
You can have a bane if you want, but I'd suggest a boon. But yeah, give yourself a perception with a boon.
Okay. Submit. Oh no!
Nope, that's still a success though, just a low one. He kind of glanced around. You definitely, like I said, you definitely find the dresses that would match the fabric, but they look perfectly hemmed and new, and you don't see any rips or anything, nothing that's been stitched. Kind of dig through maybe under her bed and around. You don't come up with any dresses that are ripped or anything. You can see this other earring that does match the one that you have is now hanging on like a little jewelry type thing, but there's a match to it now. There's both of them are there.
I'm gonna take the second earring.
I'm gonna ask Roland like what he makes of this, showing him the book, and like what do you think it's her? She has all. It seems kind of weird. She definitely knows something of this. What do you think her next move is, Roland?
Her next move, I can't say, but yes, I do think it is her.
It's definitely her.
And I think our only lead right now is the tomb.
And is it far away, Morgan, or?
Kind of look through, maybe kind of, think back. It's probably about 2 hours out.
It's a pretty big commitment to make if she's not there. And if we look through the books and all this, we don't see like anything that stands out as also being suspicious. Like obviously right now the tomb is our biggest suspicion of where she might be.
Yep. Like I said, you find like the jurors, all those people that were buried up or dug up look to be jurors on this. It's only other thing that you find would be as you kind of look through, maybe there's one more book on there on the side. You kind of flip it over, like almost like a diary, but you just see this word WitchFire kind of written across the top. And then underneath that, you have the sewers, and you see it's crossed off. And you see Northern Graveyard, it's crossed off. Museum of Cyrus, and it's crossed off. And there's just this list of all these different areas around the city. Patchworks Goods, and it's crossed off. You see the tomb is still left down at the bottom, but that too has been crossed off.
Well, I guess we go to Orgoth's tomb? Or does anyone have a better idea?
I have an idea. We're going to go to the tomb, certainly. But my suggestion would be, go find your friend you found the keys from, give them back to him with your skills, or with your gifts, as she says again, and inquire about a wagon or such, maybe a horse-drawn thing that we could use. We'd be able to get there much faster.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea.
Roland, if you want to give me a perception check, I'll give you one boon as well.
Was that everybody?
Nope, just Roland.
Okay, I missed that, sorry.
20, over 20.
Oh, good. All right, nice. So as these other two kind of take what notes they can and close things up. Just in the corner of your eye, Roland, you look over and you notice that there's a pair of boots next to the edge of the bed. Look like they've been kind of thrown there hastily. They're covered in mud and muck.
I'll go over and pick them up. Does it look like it would fit her?
Yep, it would definitely be like her size. So you can see that the mud is fairly fresh.
I'm going to go outside to where her window, where the road went down. I'm going to go see if I can't find her footprints.
Over on the balcony on the far edge?
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of move down the hall and stuff. As you look over the balcony, kind of look down, you definitely see a few little muddy footprints. It looks like they were kind of scruffed out of the balcony, or like they were trying to be cleaned up. They're just still a little bit there faintly. But you see a couple of them, and then they just kind of disappear. Like they were, at some point she must have climbed back up with these muddy boots, taken them back off, and then went to her room.
Okay. Can I go down below the balcony and?
We need to get out of here right now, gentlemen.
Yeah, I want to go out and room down and start kind of following her footprints in the mud if I can.
Yeah. Are the rest of you getting out of that room too?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of closed the door behind you, give it a bit of a lock. Roland, you go down the stairs.
Don't forget to lock it.
Yeah, lock it. You go down the stairs and outside around to where you can see this balcony. If you look around on the ground, you can definitely see some muddy footprints, a couple of larger globs of mud that have been, kind of deposited there. You don't see your footprints leaving or coming or anything, but you can definitely see fresh mud there, maybe a few hours old. It doesn't look like recent. Looks like it's a little bit older. It's kind of dried up, but.
I don't know much where to go from here.
I would be looking for the guy that I.
Leytrix is going to go back to her room, but on the way, I would say to her, Zachary, you should definitely give that back.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I got it.
When he realizes his keys are gone, he's going to know you took them.
Yeah, if you could head out.
Crazy. Sorry, Brennen, I turned him off, man. Sound.
There you go. As you head down the balcony or the loft area there, Zach, you can see this guy that you had the keys from. He's kind of like scrambling around on a desk, looking through some papers, kind of looking around. You can see he looks a little bit worried.
I'd be like, "Oh, there you are." I don't know how it happened, but when you were showing us the exercise room, we noticed your keys on the ground. They must have fallen out.
He says, thank you. As I was looking all over, I tried to get into my room and I was locked out. Made me think you fellas being locked out of, Alexia's room stuff. But,
yeah,
that's great.
You should definitely be more careful with these things.
Yeah. I tend to lose stuff. It's just a part of my nature.
Me too, man. Don't worry about it. Here's the keys back. No worries. Thanks for showing me the room again, or the exercise room.
He says, yeah. Hope to, we get down there in the morning. We pump a little bit of iron. You'd be happy to join you in the morning.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe. But anyways, you know how Father Damas, he's asked us to check out these graves. Grave robbery. We have a lead, but we need actually to get out of town. Perhaps you wouldn't maybe have a wagon that you could secure for us and a couple horses. It's a bit of a journey, and we want to make it as quick as we can. We don't want the lead to dry up.
It's like, you're heading out at night?
Oh, yeah.
He says, well, there's definitely some horses out in the stable. I don't know about a wagon, but there's definitely a couple horses I'm sure Father Damas wouldn't mind, especially if it's for work.
Yeah, perfect.
It's there for the clergy people to use if needed anyway. He says, where are you headed?
Just some reconnaissance. As you notice now, Leytrix has kind of snuck down and realized you gave the keys back. You're making friends with a guy. Just some reconnaissance. It's not a problem. We think that there may be some information we can gather when it's at night, because some of the people feel as if the graves are robbed at night.
He says, oh, that's smart. He says, well, Corvis is a dangerous city at night, so you guys be sure to watch your backs.
Absolutely. If there's one thing we're good at, it is watching our backs.
Do you think I'm worried?
He shrugs. He's like, well, I'm just worried for you. Just be careful out there. Kind of gives you a nod. He says, yeah, the stables are out back. I'm sure Father Damas wouldn't mind. But you guys, be safe. Good luck.
You have been such a good help today. What was your name again?
Oh, sure. You have to give me a name. Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle. I'll definitely take you up on that workout in the morning.
That's great. He says, I need a partner every now and then to spot me.
I am an excellent spotter.
You kind of scurries away.
I bet you are there Zachary. Thank you so much there, Kyle. You have yourself a great day. And she kind of just bats her purple eyes at him just a little bit. It's pretty mesmerizing to most people. With like the glistening of it, the whole nine, you know what I mean? It just goes, it was wonderful to meet you today. And she touches his hand just ever so slightly and then makes her way out of the building.
Just has this blushed sort of smile as he turns and heads back towards the upstairs to where his rooms are.
Leytrix, as we walking down the hall, Leytrix, you need to stop sneaking up behind me, man. That shit really creeps me out.
What?
1 minute you're there, you're not there. The next minute you're behind my ear. I'm just not used to it. You're too quiet. Start dragging your feet or something when you walk.
Well, do you not see why maybe I was quite good at that execution job I used to do back at the camp. They never saw it coming. And she kind of smiles, but then she realizes where she is, and she's trying to really, turn over a new leaf, and she just kind of looks not even ashamed, just like conflicted.
But yeah, let's go pick up Roland, and I guess we'll ride out to this tomb.
Yeah, Omath or Otosh or whatever the hell you said that word was.
Orgoth.
Oh. Sounds like a wonderful man.
All right, Roland, we got some horses. Ready?
Yes, yeah. Let's get to it.
All right. Guys, get your horses, kind of get all saddled up, get things around. Maybe you made a copy of the map, or you do know how you went into Corvis, so it's not hard to get back out. You remember seeing this path that took you down to the Orgoth's tomb. The night as you kind of move through the city and stuff, you definitely see some shady people around. You see a lot of weird deals going on in the back alleys and stuff. People give you some dirty looks. But for the most part, nobody really bothers you, especially seeing that you have, the saddles, the stuff of the church are kind of obvious, as well as the steeds and the tackle and stuff. Nobody really gives you a bit of an issue. You move through the front gates without any problem. The guards there do warn you to, definitely be safe if you're heading out of the city at this time of the night. It's a pretty rough place outside the city, especially in the swamp. Don't matter who, but I need a perception check from somebody.
That's pretty much my shit. If you guys want me to do that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yep. Just straight up there.
Yep.
There, Mark.
Yep.
Okay. What about from exile? What do you think from that? I'm used to being in, kind of far and away places.
Yeah, not for this one.
I rolled the 12 if it matters.
All right, give me just 1 second. I just got to do it again. 12.
A good hour passes. You reach through the city. You reach the edge of the, the town or the city plot, whatever you want to call it. Start heading into the Widower's Woods. Fortunately, you don't really come across too much. You kind of move along. You pass where this old, you had your ambush from these gobbers before, where your wagon was ambushed. You can still see the remnants of this orc that shit himself splattered across one of the trees and what's left of him, and some of the flour that was kind of blown apart, just kind of washed down. About a half hour or so further in, night has definitely fully set at this point. You can see this soft reddish moon in the sky. You kind of see come around the corner, you see that marker that shows Orgoth's tomb. I'm assuming you're following down the path then and headed right for the tomb?
I'd give a quick perception check to see if I maybe see any tracks.
All right, yeah.
Good look around.
I'll just use your 12 that you had there. You kind of
do you mind if we all do that just to kind of see what we all see?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'll run that straight. 15.
I rolled an 11.
All right. Got a 12. So as you guys
Thanks
look around,
15.
You definitely see a lot of footprints of these gobbers, these little three-toed clawed footprints that are everywhere in the muck and stuff. Leytrix, as you kind of look around a little bit, you do see several barefoot human-looking footprints, both headed down the path towards where this place is, as well as back. down the path towards you and like back the other way. There's one that looks like a heavy, solid boot print. It matches about the same size Alexia wears. That's also headed down this path towards the tomb.
Is there bare feet?
Yeah, there's bare feet both ways.
You know what I mean? Does it look like, there's bare footprints? You know what I mean? Like people not wearing shoes? Because I'm assuming corpses probably don't wear shoes. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, not bears as in the animal, but barefooted human.
Bear as in no shoes on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and they go both ways towards the tomb and away from it, but Alexia's shoe or boot or whatever you want to call it, the one that matches her size, is moving towards the tomb. You don't see it returning back through. You do see a lot of gobber footprints, animal footprints, hooves, horse footprints, stuff like that, all kind of intermingled. It's pretty popular.
It's certainly well traveled, though.
Yeah,
well traveled. Okay. Gentlemen, this is certainly somewhat a path that's used by more than just but look, those are those same boots.
I'd nod, and just being very aware of our surroundings, this battlefield that we just passed and all the dead orcs, and seeing how heavily it's frequent, I would be on kind of alert mode, understanding that it is dangerous being out here. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't actually even respond with words, just a nod, and look to slowly, or I guess not slowly, but ride forward on the horse.
A good half hour or so passes as you guys come into a clearing. You see this large earthen sort of mound that comes up out of the ground. In the very front of it, you can see there's a hole. As you kind of move in a little bit closer, that opens up the clearing a little bit, and you come to what looks to be a large stone dais, about 15 feet in diameter, that's set into the ground. It's covered in weeds and garbage and stuff like that now. It's been heavily grown over. And just beyond this huge stone dais, where this mound of dirt is it looks to be what was once a doorway, but it's just completely blown apart. You can see the soot and scorch marks along the sides where it was. It was like a heavy stone wooden door. You can see bits and pieces of it still lying on the ground.
As we're riding up to it, riding beside Zach, you would see that he seems like he's kind of lost in thought. And he, after a while, before coming up upon this mound, would look over to Roland and just ask him kind of in a whisper, like, Roland, what are we going to do if it's actually her?
We'll arrest her, submit her to justice.
He nods and says, but what they did to her family, it's something that's clearly wrong.
It's almost warranted.
Wrong it may be, but we're not here to judge that.
Don't you have feelings there, Roland? Don't you have feelings for the fact that there were wrongfully accused women that were not practicing witchcraft, that were told that they were? That's like saying that if you were, you could be tried the same way for just believing in your God.
I feel for them, but I can't do anything about that now. She is committing crimes now.
I would look
she
to
doesn't
him.
agree with him, but doesn't say anything.
I would look to him, and I'd think back to our childhood when I first met Roland, and I was on the streets constantly robbing people to survive, stealing from them. That's where I got my criminal background. And I would say, well, what of me, Roland, when you found me on the streets? And I was clearly committing crimes. I've clearly wronged people, but you didn't press that persecution on me. You saved me. Maybe we
He tried to rob us. There, bro.
Stealing to survive is a bit different than necromancy and what have you. Some crimes are greater than others, I believe.
I suppose you're right. either way, I will follow your lead, Roland. Definitely, she seems like a danger.
You can see the horses. You kind of nudge them forward. They start to kind of whinny, and, not really move forward. You can see they're getting pretty tense. They don't want to come too much closer to this place. Yeah, if you want to share that screenshot, Chris. Sweet. Does it come up right? Yeah, okay. You can ignore his little character there. Let me get rid of that. So you guys kind of come up. You guys are the yellow dot, basically, just so you can get an idea there on Chris's screen. Get off that again. As you kind of move up, you see that huge stone dais on the ground. As you pass by it, you can see looks like it's stained in like a deep reddish sort of color. You can see that the ground on top of it has tons and tons of big gouges in it, like maybe a heavy axe or something that's been cleaved into this thing many, many times. As you look up and you look at this huge earthen mound, you can see this door that was once in front of this, once held this tomb closed. Like I said, it's completely blown apart. As you glance down at it, Zach, you'll see that it has the insignia of the city of Corvis, the political symbol, kind of carved into the front of it, but it's now just kind of broken apart in shards. And you kind of look into this place, it's just pitch black as you look down. Leytrix, you have shadow sight or dark sight? Let's see.
Muted.
What was that?
Do you have shadow sight or dark sight? I think you have shadow sight. Okay.
Yes, I do. I have shadow sight.
So both you, Zach
can you
and
guys hear
Roland. Yep, I hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
Zach and Roland, you guys look down. It's just pitch blackness as far as you can see in the down into this tunnel. You do see that it slopes down almost gently, like a slight angle, and you can hear the trickling of water. All around you is nothing but mud and sopping wet from the swamp. Leytrix, as you kind of move up though, and you look in, you can see this tunnel kind of goes down, so, like I said, a slight angle, a good 50-60 feet, and then you see what looks to be like a heavy iron grate or something at the end, but it's as far as you can see with your shadow sight. You do see two passages that go off to the left and right further down into the tunnel, though.
And she doesn't know that they can't see in there. So come on, let's go. Let's go down the path.
Right behind you. And I would reach into my bag and pull out a torch and light it.
Okay, yeah. But you know what I mean? Yes,
like basically, like as soon as you turn around, there's this big plume of fire. Yeah, right behind you.
Yep, yeah, and that's fine. And that's when the realization hits her that yes, I see a bit different than you. I forget about that sometimes. It's quite some distance down there. We can travel, but now she can see perfectly, right?
Yep.
Because of illumination from the camera. Okay. Now does that change the distance of her shadow sight as well, or does that not change that?
No, you can still see a little bit further ahead from them, but not. It's pretty close to the same. Shadow sight basically makes it so you can see in shadows as if it was light. It just casts the shadows a little bit further, but no difference from what they have.
Okay.
Okay. So Leytrix, you're in first. You first, take a few steps in there and look around, but you can feel your feet sliding on this thick, mucky sort of water that's trickling down through there. I need an agility challenge roll from you with 2 banes.
Oh, of course. I don't like that at all. This is gonna be Leytrix falling, guys. Submit. Do a 2 there. Submit. Yep, that's a 7.
So the first few steps you take is you see that torch kind of flare up behind you, and you look back, realizing that they needed this light. You feel your feet just kind of slip in the slimy, nasty water beneath you. You hit the ground hard. It's quite a humorous sight for those of you who watch her, and she just falls square on her ass until she starts to slide. She slides down this thing. Leytrix, as you kind of spin around in this muck, you see that heavy iron grate. As it comes into view, you can see that it's been completely pulled apart, shattered. Some of the bars are ripped from the walls, but several of them are kind of curve up towards you, and you slam into these hard. It's going to be 6 points of damage that you take as one of these things pierces right through your shoulder and kind of pins you against these iron grates. One of the bars tearing right through your back of your shoulder, out the front of it.
Oh.
starts off with Zach kind of seeing her fall and does like a poof, but then as he sees her like start rapidly falling down and towards the spikes and get jabbed, he'd be like, "Holy shit, we gotta go check on her." Careful.
Yeah, I don't suggest you laugh at her, probably. But yeah, I mean, she certainly takes her lump. It's not the first time she's been hurt, so you know what I mean. Clearly, it's something that she pulls herself off of the spike.
You can hear the sickening as you kind of rip your arm off.
You mean rip it from the spike?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I just want to make sure it didn't come off. I know you, buddy. You know what I mean?
So right here it's kind of hard to see on the map, but there's a little errand right there.
Yeah. It's she'd like to, you know, she's in a great deal of pain, but she'd like to think back up to the top of the tunnel. Does that look like the same scorch marks that were in some of those what's your duties? Tombs and such? The ones that were burnt?
Yep. It looks like it was just completely blown apart.
Right. Okay. And is there any scorch or anything on the bars down here as well?
Yep. Same exact thing. You can see some of them are kind of melted down. Some of the bars themselves have been completely ripped from the ceiling and the floor. Some of them bent apart this way or bent kind of inward, outward, snapped apart. Yep.
These are clearly some type of, I don't want to say fire magic, but it seems to be because it's burning.
You did back in the tomb.
I've never seen anything like this before, didn't I?
Back when you were in the tomb, you did a sense magic. It was all destruction magic. They hit the tomb and the graves.
Right.
And this looks exactly the same.
Yep. Yeah. And she kind of, holds her shoulder a little bit, gets it comfortable. She goes, watch your step here, gentlemen. Ugh.
I look painful. Are you all right?
I'll be okay. Not the first time I've taken damage before.
As a rough fall, let me tend to your wounds if I can. Just kind of bandage her up best I can.
Both you and Roland and Zach kind of maybe skirt along the wall a little bit out of the way of the slippery, nasty, mucky water that's trickling down through here. Kind of slide down and help her up. Yeah, you can fit through this grate if you wanted to head further in. You do pass 2 doors on either side, which are those reddish brown sort of things here.
I'd signal to
right now is that
one, and then I would go check the other one.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to hit?
I'll hit the right one.
How much? Okay. How much should I heal? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I don't think he actually cast a spell or nothing on you yet. He just bandaged your shoulder up.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. She's fine with
it. Yeah, this door that's on this thing is pretty much rotted away, Zach. As soon as you move up to it, you kind of give it a little bit of push. Part of it kind of falls apart, and it kind of swings open. It's basically just this dry, empty room. You can see the water really hasn't gotten in here. There's a little bit around the doorway area, but the rest is just, nice and cleaned up. Empty room. There's a few rusted sconces that lie broken on the floor. The walls in here, though, are covered with all sorts of crude pictures, almost like caveman drawings almost, and kind of the cavern paintings on the walls. You see what looks to be these very large, hairy-like men, easily twice the size of these women that they have, using them also for basically their own sexual pleasures, just plastered all these really obscene images all the way around. On the southern wall, though, you can see another doorway that leads deeper into this room, but right beside this door shows one of these huge, hairy sort of guys standing over top of a woman who's on the ground. Her abdomen, her crotch area, everything's just split right open by this kind of twisted, hairy little infant type thing.
I'd be looking at it pretty much in disgust, like, what the hell is this?
I walk up to it. And
yeah, that is
That is not the reaction that Leytrix has to the drawings.
What did you want to do, Brennen? Walk up to it and what?
Is it like a hairy baby? You said.
Yep, it's just like I said, like a cavern painting or like a cave painting, basically, kind of engraved into the stone. But it looks like she was giving birth to this thing, but it literally like split her in half.
Oh my. Can I use my knowledge and history to maybe figure out what this is, kind of?
Totally, yeah. I'll even give you 2 boons for that one. That's right on the dot. Intellect or will, either one would work for this case.
$17.
Kind of look around. You recognize these big, hairy-like men as the ancient Orgoths. It was sort of like a primitive race of humanoids, almost like a giant ogre-type race. They lived on this land long, centuries, decades, long time ago, millenniums ago, I guess, thousands of years. But they basically came into this land and they took the humans as their slaves, used them to breed. These creatures, these Orgoths, were only male. So they would use the human females to breed to create more of these things, and that's how they kept their race going. Obviously, when they gave birth to these things, though, they were much larger than your typical human, and it just completely obliterated the female's body. But it looks like it's basically just kind of in honor of these creatures, pretty much just kind of showing what they did with the women and what ended up getting from them.
I relay all this back to them. And
yeah, Leytrix is fascinated by the whole thing.
You're fascinated by the fact that you've killed innocent women.
No, I'm fascinated by the way that others reproduce.
Weird.
I am a woman. It sounds awful, but the way that others reproduce is sometimes fascinating.
They had a curious way for sure. Right to the left of this, right to the left of this picture on the wall, though, is this doorway that leads deeper into the room.
Might as well crack that open while we're at it.
Yeah, she's not afraid to open the door if nobody else is.
Yeah, who wants to open it?
I'll open it.
Okay. So as you kind of head over, Zach, you give it a shove. You can realize that, this thing's over the years has pretty much kind of bound in place between the water, kind of, expanding these boards and shrinking them and banding them. It's going to take a hell of a push to get this thing open. Give me a strength challenge roll.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, you shove on this thing. It doesn't move. It creaks and groans a little bit, but it doesn't move at all.
Huh.
Roland pulls up his sleeves and says, let me do it.
Same thing. Strength challenge roll.
I'm going to really embarrass myself if I don't do this. Uh, 12.
12, good. Yeah, give this thing a bit of a shove. You have to do it a few times, and it finally gives way and kind of slams inward. You kind of stumble in a little bit. You can see that it's a step down into the next room, and the floor is covered with thick mud at the bottom, and then just maybe 3 or 4 inches of this disgusting old murky swamp water that's seeped in here. The room itself is real small, as you can see there. There looks like there's an old rotted desk over on against the western wall that's pretty much just dilapidated into pieces at this point. But directly ahead of you on the wall, everything looks like it's been carved out of the stonework that's around here, but set into the wall itself is a large slab of marble, about 3 foot square, and it's emblazoned like it's been melted inward with glass. There's all these little glass shards in this bit of marble, and then right in the center is the face of one of these Orgothian men, just this big, hairy, bestial sort of face, its mouth hanging open a little bit, almost like it's roaring a challenge or something.
Do you see anything in there?
What'd you find, Roland?
all kinds of stuff. Come in here and look.
Wonderful. He's an ugly fucker, isn't he?
Quite.
I take it back, Roland. I think it's awful what these men did to these women now that I think about it. Who would want to sleep with that? He says.
I have a feeling the women didn't have a choice to sleep with them.
Yeah, probably not. It's she would walk up to it and kind of. I would like. Let me see. I think I want to do that sense magic thing. No, she's just gonna kind of look about the room. Can I roll perception on that thing? You know what I mean? Is it like a picture or is it set into the wall?
It's a big marble slab that's been set into the wall itself. But the face itself is made looks like maybe some sort of copper or brass or something kind of inlaid into this marble. And it's pretty big. It's about 2 foot square.
Very strange. I'm not interested any longer. And she turns out and walks out of the room.
I'm gonna walk over to the
all right,
dilapidated desk and just kind of look through.
It's mostly pretty much dilapidated at this point. You do see a couple old books of some sort. You don't recognize. Well, you recognize the writing as Orgothian, but you can't read it. Most of the pages are pretty much rotted away into nothing. As you kind of flip through, they just kind of fall apart in your hands. What's left is just covered in mold and slime. Everything in here is just beyond ruin. Besides this nice little thing in the wall, but you can see that that's literally like set right in the stonework. It would, you'd have to like pry it out if you actually tried to. It's not worth you can't just take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and leave with her. Leytrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leytrix is looking more at those drawings, and she is. They're interesting to her, so
she's taking notes.
Yeah. And then if you guys could do me a favor, can we take a couple minutes? I gotta restart my computer. It's acting like a fucking asshole right now.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna do it at 11 anyway, so yeah, let's take like a 5-minute break.
All right, sounds good.
That would be awesome. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Never.
Good answer. Raised you well, and would you consider a good friend if she was so plastered she called you a failure in front of your sons, and told your boyfriend that you were afraid of sex in the vagina, and she ate the cake you made for him with her hands. I ate cake. On such me that you.
I'm back. Do.
So just waiting for Cory to get back.
Yep.
What time is it? 11.
Have you planned the game to go for tonight?
Yeah, probably right around 12, 12:30, somewhere right in that area.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm figuring you'll probably finish off this little dungeon. And should have a bunch of cool stuff happen and then level up. And that'll take us into the second chapter of the campaign.
Perfect. Either that or die terribly.
That's quite a possibility depending on what you guys do.
That is quite fair. I will surrender. Do.
Have you looked at the Mystic for 5e?
Briefly.
It's supposed to be, it's a psionic, ain't it?
Yeah.
I haven't even looked down.
It is.
The one that I went to level 5 with, or do they go further with it?
Yeah, they did a whole 1 to 20.
Oh, okay.
It's
Seen that.
it's pretty intense from what I've seen.
I've seen somebody mentioned if I'd allow it. I'd have to look at it. I guess I really don't care, to be honest. But
Yeah, for me, it seemed it's like literally a whole other thing. Like they put quite a bit into it. It has its own like spell system. Like I guess it's kind of like spell slots, but a little different at the same time.
Is it still kind of similar to sorcerers? And
I don't think so. Honestly, I didn't read it very well, but from what I've seen, it definitely seems like its own thing. Like I can't remember what they call it, whether it's like psi points or something like that.
I was going to say probably psionic points. That's what they've done in every other system.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, they're kind of used like monk key points and sorcerer points,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it fully, but I do have it somewhere in my Google Drive.
I'll have to go dig it up and take a look at it. I really don't care if somebody uses it or not, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I want to make a Minotaur psionic.
Especially in one shots, it doesn't really matter that much.
if they piss me off, I can kill them. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Are you all back up and running, Cory?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Close that back up.
Man, I'm getting some crazy fucking lag right now. It's crazy. Whatever. I'll deal with it. So if I ask you what, it's because I got crazy lag. So
Okay.
Try lowering the bandwidth, maybe.
it's already way down. My internet here is not very good, so yeah, I'm already on a low setting. Here's what it is. I deal with it.
All right. Well done. Let's see.
Got a lot of bleeding sound from your side, Brennen.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all good on my end. All right, so yeah, you guys, leave that room behind, come back out into this main area. Be careful not to slip in the slimy nest stuff and get yourself impaled on the grate down below you. There's still one more door up directly in front of you. The door that's on this is kind of already swung in a little bit. You can see it looks like just almost the same exact room as the one behind you, just this dry room. But you can definitely see that it looks like there's some piles of stuff in the corner.
Check that out real quick, I guess.
Yeah, let's go on and take a look. Absolutely.
Swing this door open and kind of step in. You can see over to your left against like the southern wall is a ring of stones. Looks like it's basically like a firing, but you can still see some of the embers are still glowing warm. It's been out for probably several hours, but they're still fairly warm. Directly in front of you, there's some old sconces to the wall. They're completely rusted apart and falling apart onto the ground. In the ceiling, it kind of domes up a little bit, but in the very center of the ceiling is this little hole, about a foot in diameter, almost like a chimney that kind of goes up through the earth above you. Over on the right-hand corner, up in I guess would be the northwestern corner, is a large pile of rags, leaves. You can see several twig branches and stuff kind of laid out, almost like a bed.
Does it look like it has been inhabited recently?
Yeah, you can definitely see a small kind of humanoid form impressed into it.
What do you think, gentlemen? Looks like somebody's been sleeping here. She would lay down in her. I imagine that she and Alexia are about the same size, like height and such. Okay, and she's average build, so on and so forth. So, I kind of lay down into that section. Does it kind of seem like the same size as me?
No, not at all. Just kind of move over and maybe sit around this. It's probably about half your size, maybe even a little bit smaller. It reeks like complete shit and vermin as you get a little bit closer. You can see these little scrape marks on the floor, and you can see gobber footsteps all over.
Oh. Gross.
How is it? Is it comfy?
That smells like a fucking gobber.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's anything else in this room, right?
You can give me one perception check where you're at, Leytrix.
Can I take a boony boon because I got on there and laid down with it and such?
Since you got down in the gobber bed and rolled around, certainly. Smells like just complete piss. They do like to mark their areas in piss, so you're probably covered in gobber piss. So
yeah, wonderful. 17.
Nice. So yeah, you'd notice that there's quite a few gobber tracks around different sizes and stuff. Looks like there's maybe 3 to 4 of them that were in here at one point. This little stone ring of where the fire ring is and stuff is still a little bit warm. As you do lay down in this little gobber nest though and kind of roll around, for whatever reason, you go to stand back up, you feel one of your feet kind of kick a flagstone on the floor that knocks itself loose. You can see that there's something down underneath this flagstone.
Yeah, I should go down there and take a look at it.
Pry that up and kind of set aside. It's just, you can see like this bundle of folded cloth, and take it out and open it up. There's 7 copper pieces that are kind of folded up in there. But then inside of that is another cloth that when you open, you can see this very ornate pistol that's been inscribed with silver detailing. The whole thing is covered in like some sort of thick preserving black grease, and there's 3 little bullets with it as well. The whole thing would have to be cleaned and, like prepared up to use, but it looks like it's very fancy. Something more nobles would have. More for showing than really shooting, but certainly would work.
Right. She goes, she takes it out and kind of holds it in her hand. Looks like something fit for the noblest of us. Did you guys take that copper pan from the other room?
Oh, I touched nothing in the tomb.
Yeah, same.
Huh. Interesting. Well, here, and she takes the copper bits and hands them to Roland. Look, I'm making a donation to the church.
I'll not take that. This is the dead's.
This is the dead's. Okay. Wonderful. And she puts them in her pack along with the gun and the bullets and goes, should we move on?
Yeah, definitely. So everyone be careful. And Zach wouldn't have realized it when it happened, but he now has his weapon out, actually.
Yeah, you can step back out of this room. You can notice that Leytrix smells horrendous at this point as she's been rolling around. Make your way back onto this hallway. Move down a little bit. Are you moving through that grate and onward?
Yeah, I'll slip through it carefully as I can.
All right. So you're in the lead then?
Sure.
All right. Way to take the initiative. Move forward a little bit through this grate and kind of move down the aisle, this stone hallway. The floor itself levels back out. It's covered in about 2 inches of water, so where it's slowly been pooling and before it starts to slowly grade back up. Just to your left, Zach, is another little doorway that looks like it goes in. Further ahead of you, though, everything else looks like it's actual old cavern. It's no longer being carved out nice and cleanly. It becomes much more cavernous with thick, rough hewn walls and everything, turning in more to a cavern than an actual tomb.
All right, so I would just carefully kind of peek in the door. I realize I have my torch out, so the element of surprise isn't going to be on us no matter what. So just carefully open the door and see what I see.
Right, you swing that open a little bit. This great big room kind of comes into view, probably a good 30 feet square at least, if not bigger. There's a whole bunch of tables that run along one side of the wall. You can see what's left of these crumbling wooden chairs that have been scattered about. Very large chairs, about twice the size of a normal one that you would use. The back far against the wall is this large hewn fireplace. Again, there's a pot that hangs over it. It's still fairly warm in here, and you can smell the smoke, so it looks like it was recently used. The floor is just littered with garbage, and the room smells like death. Just absolutely horrendous.
Whew. Does not smell too good in here. Seems like we're not the only people who have recently come in here, though, and I'd point at the ash.
Clearly not. Were there any more writings on the wall? Any more
Nope, not in any
pictographs or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
If you get anywhere closer to the if you get anywhere closer to where this fireplace is, it's just stronger and stronger, the smell of death. If right over there next to where this pot is and these warm embers are, there's definitely something dead here.
Well, Leytrix, you always seem to be fascinated with that kind of stuff. Do you want to go check it out?
Absolutely. It doesn't smell so foul to her. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like smells like a little bit. It doesn't smell so bad. I don't want to say it smells good, but it just kind of smells normal. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to look around more, and if I could use my knowledge of death and creating it.
Yeah, you kind of look around. It's definitely coming from this fireplace, and as you kind of look down, you can see the chimney runs up the back of it, and you look up there, you see what looks to be this mangled up, torn gobber that's been shoved into the chimney chute. Most of it's been kind of cooked away from the flames below, but it's been there for quite a while. It's probably a good week or so as most of it's starting to rot away. Kind of hangs these nasty tatters of flesh hanging off of it.
Why would it? There's a fucking gobber in there. And it looks like he wedged himself in it. Why would a gobber climb into a chimney chute? Unless it was trying to escape from something.
He was terrified.
What do you think, gentlemen?
I think that gobbers aren't the smartest in the best of situations.
True.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible escape route, if that's what it was. But again, why would
I know gobbers are little and so on and so forth, but what would possess you to want to climb up a chimney? And then she starts looking around the room. I'd like to run perception in this room if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah. You actually won't even need to roll. You kind of look
Okay.
around. It's definitely strewn with a whole bunch of garbage and everything. You kind of look, though, you do notice a lot of footprints going to and from this chimney chute. Almost like it was a entranceway or an exit of some sort.
Okay. Once kind of really realizing that, I reach in there and I pulled up Gobber Body out.
It comes out in bits and pieces as you kind of pull it. You grab the leg and kind of give it a yank, and you just get the leg that comes out, and it just comes out in pieces.
Bother.
Yeah,
doesn't bother her at all. You know what I mean? It's yeah, she should do a very awful job. So,
and then all you're left with is a hole, maybe about 1.5 feet, 2 feet in diameter that runs up through, and you can see a little bit of the moonlight up above that kind of glows down through. It's too small for like any of you to easily fit up, but a gobber, it would be a tight fit. But...
Hey, Zach, let me hold that torch for a moment. And I'd like to take the torch and kind of shine it in there. How far can I see up the, even with my shadow sight and such?
It goes up by probably a good 60 feet or so before it opens up into whatever's above, the ground above.
Okay. Was the gobber facing up or facing down?
Facing up.
Like did I?
Yeah, it looked like he was starting to crawl.
Okay, so it looks like he was trying to climb up it rather than falling down?
Yep.
Okay. There's definitely something above this. It didn't look like it exited to the sky. It looked like it exited to another room.
No, but like out into the open, like up above, open to the sky, basically.
Oh, open to the sky. Okay, yeah. All right, I just want to make sure it didn't look like it went somewhere else. Interesting. Does it look like the light goes to any other passage on the way up the tunnel?
Nope, just a straight chute.
It's just a straight flute. Okay.
Basically, just a chimney.
Yeah. I peek my head back down and I go, yeah, I think that thing was trying to escape here. I'm being very honest. And I hand the torch back to Zach.
Let's go see if we can find what it's trying to escape from, I guess. That's what we're here for.
Be on alert, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Onward. I'll take the lead again.
Alrighty. Kind of move along a little bit further. There. You can see as you start to pass by this tunnel on your right, Zach, that it kind of branches down. It looks like several tunnels branch off this thing. Further down, you can hear some like squeaking that comes from down this, echoes down through the tunnel a little bit, and then it just kind of goes silent.
All right.
Up above. I can reveal a little bit there. And then up above you see the cave kind of digs further in. You see a couple of little passages breaking off in that too before you can't quite see anymore from your torchlight.
I'd whisper back that it's like a maze in here.
Yeah. I would like to sneak this direction to right there, right to that corner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not go anywhere past that and see what I can see this direction.
Sure. Well, right beside you, you see a doorway. And as you kind of glance up, you get pretty much the same thing. There's a doorway up there.
The doorway there. Okay.
The other one just kind of goes off.
Yeah. Okay. So we've seen pretty much down this hallway. So I'd come back to the guys and I say, there's a door up and to the right, and there's a door at the end of the hallway. It almost looks like forward. It really looks like it goes quite crazy the other direction, looking down the right hallway. Do you think we should maybe go north first?
I think that's where we should go.
All right. I agree with Roland.
Okay. Give me a perception check, Leytrix. I'll give you one boon on this one.
Okay. And then do sneaky back here. No, don't do that. Here. 20.
Nice. So as you kind of come up, let me click on this here. Up here by where this doorway is, you can look up ahead. You kind of get a view. As you turn and go back to tell the others, you hear this grunt from behind you, from behind this door. The door itself is closed. It looks pretty standard wooden door. It actually looks like it's been kind of repaired or fixed up a little bit. There is some scorch marks along one of the walls here. But inside, on this other side of this door, you hear this grunt and then this, must clean, must clean. The chief will be here soon, must clean. And you hear stuff around, kind of being shoved around, cleaning.
Is it? And it's in a common language that
Yep.
that everybody that I can understand.
Yep.
Okay. Does it sound like a gobber?
Your guess, probably, yeah.
Okay. I would very quietly make my way back over to where the gentlemen are. Explain that there is certainly somebody in that room. They want to make sure that they're clean for the master or something. That doesn't sound good.
No,
I'm not thinking I can't eliminate him, but it's good to know what we have around here.
Maybe we should go have.
We could also maybe go in there and talk to him.
I think we should go talk with him.
I think you're on the right path there, Roland. Doesn't always have to be death and shitting people.
all right. Let's do it.
And she squints to that because in her brain it is always death and shitting people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah, let's be along.
Go ahead, Roland. You're always the most charismatic out of the two of us.
Yeah. I'll go forward and talk to him.
If it pisses me off, it's not going to have a nice day.
All right, Roland, you kind of move up. This door is still, it's hung open just a couple inches, and you can definitely see the shadow on the wall. As you look in there, whatever's in there, there's definitely some light, but you can see this little gobber shadow moving around the wall, and you can hear it talking to itself. It kind of has intermingled, some comment intermingled with a gibberish of this gobber that you can't quite understand. What do you do? Just like charge in, or?
Just open the door.
Kind of swing it open. This gobber jumps around in a hurry, stare at you. Its eyes kind of go real wide, and it snatches up this little spear on the side, backing itself up almost into like this little corner where there's this little fireplace. You can see the room has been mostly kind of tidied up the best that a gobber does. There's still garbage and crap laying all over. In one of the corners is this big pile of leaves and animal hides. And next to it is this little broken, what looks to be probably once was kind of a fancy chalice. Now it's just kind of crumbled up and mostly cracked, in a bottle of what looks to be wine, but it doesn't smell like wine. But this little gobber kind of backs himself right up into this fireplace, pointing his spear at you. You can see that he's trembling in fear at the moment.
Okay, I'll squat down, like on my haunches, kind of. Just hold up my hands and say, hey, just came here to talk.
He kind of stares at you, kind of jabs his spear kind of a little bit towards you. He says, Bork, no talk. Bork, no talk.
Bork, you will talk. Bork, yes, you will talk.
He says, what you want to know for Bork?
Who is your master?
Chief Vomit. Chief Vomit's Bork's master.
Have you seen any humans like me here?
When he says that, his eyes widen up again. He says, Bork's seen many humans. Are you with a witch?
Yes, we're looking for her. She asked us to go get her something. We've got it. We need to bring it to her.
You can see his hand kind of inching down to his side where this little horn is. He says,
don't move your hand, Bork.
He says, Bork don't like witch. Witch blew up Bork's friends. Bork kill you if you with witch.
Well, we thought you were with the witch. I want to kill the witch, too.
He says, but you said you were with witch. Bork no trust you.
Bork, you're a goblin. You wouldn't understand.
Oh, Bork, the smartest of goblins.
I look back. Leytrix, do you want to ask him some questions? My friend here is a lot less nice than me.
Hi there, Bork. How you doing today?
Bork not happy.
And
Stinky humans and elves invade Bork's chieftain's room. Don't make Bork mad.
really? But okay, so now you said you've seen the witch. Have you seen her today?
She left many hours ago, before sundown. She came with those things, and she left with the gray women.
Does she wear a white dress?
Bork seen white dress.
And she takes out the cloth like this here.
Nods.
Bork, I'm going to tell you something. I think you know these tunnels quite well, don't you?
Bork lived here all 11 years.
I'll tell you what. And she puts the 6 copper that she found, onto the ground. This is Bork's copper. If you help us get around here.
This is what you want from Bork.
I want a guide.
Gabber. He prepare for chieftain's arrival.
And when do you expect that to be?
He kind of looks around. Anytime. Bork chieftain comes soon. You best be gone when Bork chieftain comes.
What is the chieftain? Is it another gobber?
Big gabber. Chief Vomit.
Big gobber. Chief. Oh, how pleasant. Is he a pleasant man?
Says, not really. What you want for Bork? Bork have little time.
But neither am I, Bork.
Are you looking for the bone beans, the bone men? Is that what you come for? Gabber,
you've seen bone men.
Bork show you the bone men.
How many? Have you seen 5 bone men? And she sort of puts up her her hand of 5 fingers.
He kind of puts up his 5 fingers as well. Says 3 bone men. 3.
3.
3.
Okay. Yeah. And the woman in white.
Pretty woman. She left with the 5 grays. One man she left. She left the bone men. You want to see the bone men? Bork show you bone men.
Please. What's in the door up ahead?
Bone men up above. Bork show you. He kind of steps out very cautiously, trying to watch as he kind of tries to work around you.
Yeah. Right. And she steps and moves in front and just puts her hand towards Roland not in a aggressive pushing manner, but a pushing manner, and closes the door. So now it's just her and the gobber in the room. And she says, if you try to double-cross us, this will be the last day that Bork lives. This is not a game here today, and I will kill you and not feel bad. But if Bork is good, he takes all of this copper.
Says, Bork very good, gobber. Bork show you bone men.
I knew you'd say that. Wonderful, Bork. And I open the door. Chieftain. Yeah, and I say, wonderful, Bork, and I open the door just like the happiest person ever. You know what I mean? Like nothing happened. You know what I mean? And I've certainly got. I'm gonna walk very close to Bork, with even my hand maybe on his shoulder, and that would be readying kill touch if he doesn't do what he tells us to.
He'll stay really far back from both Zach and Roland, at least as far as he can, as he kind of skirts past the two of you. And, quickly he hurries up this hallway up to the door. Where's my clicker? At the very end here. Right up to the end. And he says, Bone men through door with smelly boxes. Bork no like the bone men. Bone men try to kill Bork, but you can kill bone men. That's where the pretty witch went.
Okay. Are you? What's this way, Bork?
He looks on. That's where they
as I point down the hallway.
The chains and the manacles and the bodies. Bork no go there. Bork think it haunted.
It very well might be, Bork. And she looks back to the gentleman. Do you have any more questions? What about you, Zach? Do you have any questions for our friend Bork here?
Nope, you muted.
Sorry. No, I'll just follow.
Okay. And what? Well done, Bork. Is there any other things that people that are investigating, such as this, might be interested in this cave? And who bent those bars?
He says, "Are you looking for treasure? Bork know where treasure is."
Not interested in treasure. More information about bone men and girl in white.
Girl in white, she come yesterday with 3 bone men, and he holds up 5 fingers. And she went through these doors, and bone men still there, and with the smelly boxes. But she left with the 5 gray women. That's all Bork know. She blew apart the doors and the grates. Pretty woman come into our room.
Yeah, because those hurt me pretty bad. Yeah. Right, and I pull my cloak to the side and show that I've been injured by that. I can understand. It is. Will Bork do me a favor? When we leave here, if you see the white woman again, just remember when that happened. I'm gonna come back and check on that.
So, Bork, remember. Bork's smartest gobber ever.
I agree, Bork. And she's definitely patronizing him. And puts the 6 copper in his hand. Another thing, if Vomit shows up, can you say very loudly how excited you are that he is here?
Bork very excited when Chief Vomit comes.
Right.
Bork, you dance. You want to see Bork dance.
Right. So, yes, let's see that dance, Bork.
He does this kind of primitive sort of dance, hopping around, beating his hands on his knees a little bit, making this whooping sort of sound. Kind of echoes down through the tunnel. Obviously, if there's anything around, they heard him going off.
Mm-hmm. But they should be accustomed to hearing him going off because I'm trying to talk to him very quietly. It's okay. Well, that is great. I'm sure your chief will love that. But yeah, just as like maybe a warning, so we know when your chief is here, and then if he leaves before you see us again, say goodbye very loud.
Oh,
okay.
Bork do that. Bork do that. Are you gonna get rid of Bone Men?
We're gonna take a look. I'm gonna tell you what. Does Bork know how to fight?
Bork not fight. Bork maid. I take care of chieftain.
Oh, good. Where does the chieftain live? Does he live in here or someplace else?
Chief Vomit live here. He's currently eating.
Where?
Outside. He just kind of points upwards.
He points out towards the exit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Bork. Again, fellas, do you have anything else to ask our friend Bork here? I think that he should certainly go back to his room and make it like the 3 of us didn't show up. Right, Bork? You're not going to tell the boss that we're here, right?
Bork no tell boss.
Okay. Because, and she just kind of winks at him, right?
He nods.
And she does put the money in his hand and cups it and squeezes just a little bit. You know what I mean? Bork is our new friend.
Bork friend.
I don't know,
Bork,
fellas.
yeah.
You got anything else? Yeah, you got anything else for him?
No, I think we're good.
So when nobody else stops him, he just kind of hurries back.
Roland?
He dropped at the moment.
She looks over to Roland and she goes, "You did well. I don't think you needed my help. You just I know I have a way of extracting information, but you were doing well."
He dropped for the moment, but
You're muted. Oh, he did. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, if you he just kind of scurries way back to his room. He left looking at this doorway. You can see that it was definitely kicked in or blown into something. It's kind of hanging crooked on its hinges a little bit. If you kind of step in there, yep. Go ahead.
Do I have to open the door to be able to step in, or can I kind of scoot underneath the door that's already in the
No,
position?
you can just kind of scoot in there.
Okay. I would like to go in there without any light.
Okay.
And I'll look at Zach and say, "I'll just take a look. I think I can probably see around a bit, and then come back and let you know. What do you think, buddy?"
Yeah, he would. Oh, again. Am I on mute?
No, you're good.
I'd say, yeah, just be careful. Make sure. There's probably more of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he said there's at least 5 of the bone men, meaning probably the skeletons in which she's reanimated somehow.
Give me a. Well, actually, what's your agility score?
My agility score?
Yeah.
It's a 10.
Okay. You kind of scoot up. Which way you want to go? You can see that it splits off a little bit. Do you want to look down the first tunnel, or?
I would like to let me get up here. Okay. Let me I would like to travel to here and look into the room, but I don't want to enter it.
All right. That's 14. This, as you kind of glance in, you can see this huge cavernous room. The floor is kind of all uneven, rocky pieces everywhere. Little puddles of pools of water scattered all over this room. You see 4 large coffins that are scattered around. Looks like they were made out of like a heavy, maybe oak or some sort of maple, some sort of heavy wood. Each of them has this little brass plaque at the end of it. They're all have been completely blown apart, though. The floor itself, besides being all uneven and craggy, is covered with these large ruins and circles all over the floor. You can see melted candles and wax spilled across the floor. The worst thing you see are these 3 huge, massive skeletons. They all stand about 12 feet tall, each one kind of scattered out, kind of spaced apart in this room. They all turn their eyes in your direction, this really baleful green look, and just start moving forward. And with that, we're going to enter initiative.
Oh. How wonderful. And that is what I haven't done it in a long time, dude. I forgot.
All right. No, I was just checking to see if Brennen is okay. Alrighty. So, you guys are back in. Zach and Roland, you guys are back behind the door a little bit. You can hear the scratching sound behind you. If you look over your shoulder, you see these 3 large, nasty, scum-covered rats crawling down the hall towards you. Behind them, on another large rat, you see Bork holding his spear and holding the reins of this rat that he's riding that are coming up the aisle towards you. And then up above, you can hear Leytrix. And as you look into this room, Leytrix, and see these huge 3 skeletons, about 12 foot in height, stomping towards you. We will enter initiative. So, let me get my fast and slows.
Oh, there we go again. My brain didn't get that for a second. I forgot about it. Sorry, man.
You're good. All right. So as I said, Zach and Roland, you guys are in where that yellow blob is. Behind you, there's 3 large rats, and then another large rat where Bork is sitting on top of, as he's kind of yelling out gibberish in his gobbler tongue. These 3 rats moving towards you. Leytrix, you're on the corner right there into that room. Basically where the caskets are is where you see these 3 huge skeletons. So who would like to go fast?
I'm going to go slow.
All right, Zach, slow.
I would like to go fast.
Leytrix is fast. And Roland? This is not working. I know he kept dropping.
We can't hear you if you're talking, Roland.
Yeah, are you there, Brennen?
I mean, everything's robotic for me, but I think it's because of my internet. But,
well, let's do Leytrix first then, and then see if Brennen can figure out what's up with his.
yeah, he dropped again. So,
so why don't you go ahead and go first?
Yeah,
Leytrix?
it's So they're coming right at me, huh?
Yep. They're a movement away from you, so they're gonna have to go slow to reach them if that's what you're trying to do, unless you have range attack or whatever. But they're a movement away as far as melee goes.
So then they're out of short range, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I can't do that because they're skeletons. Okay. I am going to. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I was doing it right. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Black Tongue upon myself.
Okay.
And for the duration, I make intellect and will attack rolls with 1 boon against demons, devils, spirits, and undead.
All right.
So they're definitely skeletons. So I feel they're undead.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do that, and then that would be my turn, right?
Yep. Alrighty. It looked like he might have dropped him. I'll have him go after you then, Zach.
All right, so what I'm going to do, and I see the Bork and his rat friends coming up on us, obviously aggressively.
Yes.
The gig's up. So I will reach back to my invention on my kind of pack, my little fanny time machine, my fanny pack time machine, and I will hit a button on it, which will surge up some energy, and then kind of gathering it in my palm, I will shoot it at them, and they all have to make will challenge rolls. And on a fail, they all become slowed. Up to 5 of them, which I believe there's 4.
Let's see. Yep, there's 4 of them. So will challenge. They don't get it so straight up. And that would be a failure.
So slowing them down, I would tell Roland that we have to fall back onto Leytrix. And we'll push back into the rim. Just kind of shout out to her that Bork and his rat friends are coming on us, and then I would see what she's dealing with, and just kind of like, shit, we need to take up a defensive position here. We're being surrounded, and I'm trying to look at the reference tab here. I want to do something like maybe a defensive stance where they attack me with Bane, or even like ready attack, if I can do that, maybe.
Yeah, you can ready an attack.
All right, so yeah, I'll just do that. Whatever comes into melee range first, I'll swing at.
All right.
Just tell Brennen to do the same thing, I guess, until...
Yeah, that's what I figured too. Yep. So yeah, he'll kind of back up. He's mostly healing stuff, so if he doesn't make it in, if somebody needs healing, then let me know. But
yeah, she took 6 points already, dude. You know what I mean? So it's
Can you hear us now, Brennen?
because we can hear him. No, that's kind of strange. I hear his background noise.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we will.
Yeah, it's weird.
Somebody want to type in the little chat thingy there, see if you can hear us? Oh, maybe. No. All right, yeah, these 3 huge skeletons kind of clamber forward towards you, Leytrix. Only one of them fits through that little tiny opening. The other 2 kind of have to stay behind as this thing kind of clambers through. It is going to take a swing at you, though, just 1. The other 2 can't do anything.
Okay.
That's natural 20. So, and be 5 points of damage, Leytrix.
That's her limit right there.
All right, yeah, you can see this big, huge hand just kind of come through and backhand you right into the chest. You can see it does have a sword in one of its hands, but it doesn't seem like it even realizes what it's doing. It doesn't use the weapon itself before it just smashes you with its limb. You kind of hit the wall hard.
With me readying an attack, being back to back with Leytrix, could I maybe attack that skeleton before it comes in on her? Or?
Not before it, no, because it's going to get us thing because you cast your spell. But I mean, if you want to make an attack now, you can. Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, cool.
Yeah, you could go fast now and take an attack. But yeah, she slumps to the ground, right? If I'm at 0.
Yep. Or yeah, once your damage equals your health, you're unconscious.
Yep. I think I heard Brennen say something.
Yeah, I'm saying so.
All right.
Can I be heard?
You're really robotic, but
yeah, you're really robotic, but we can hear you.
I hate Hangouts.
We can always use something else too, but I don't know what else people work. But
well, do you want to know what's never given us a problem? When we run it right through Roll20.
I know it always works for me. We'll try that next time.
Yeah.
All right, so you see this big, huge hand come out of this crevice and smash against Leytrix, kind of throwing her back against the wall where she slumps down. Coming up behind you, Roland, is 3 large, really messed up looking rats, kind of covered in mangy fur and decay. Zach has slowed them down, but you are up if you want to do something.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Flash.
Okay. On which ones?
Well, it's just on one target, so just one of them has to make I make a will attack roll against their perception.
So you're doing Flash. So it's the target. Let's see. Before I make a will chance roll against the target's perception. These things' perception is a 10.
All right, I got a 16.
All right, so yeah, that's a hit. So what do you got? On a success, target becomes blinded for 1 round. All right. So they're slowed and blinded. So no matter what, they're going at the end. All right. So you see these rats kind of come up in front of you, Roland. There's going to be 2 on you and 1 on Zach. They have 2 bangs. So that's a definite no. Definite no. Definitely no. So yeah, these things, you can see this, their eyes kind of glaze over when you do this flash. They stumble forward a little bit, kind of snapping at each other, snapping at your heels a little bit, but they're nowhere near hitting you guys at the moment. The other 2 huge skeletons try to fit through the best they can, but they can't quite get to Leytrix. So end of the round, we'll go back to the beginning. Who would like to go fast? I'm going to need a death save from you, Leytrix.
I'll go fast.
All right.
I'm going to go fast.
Okay, Roland's fast. I'll let you guys go first, and then we'll at the end of the round we'll hit her death save if she still needs it.
So I'll being in the room back to her, I turn around, and as I'm trying to say that we have this trouble with the rats and stuff, I look and see her engage with the skeletons, knock her down. I would impose myself over top of her body and kind of lock in swords with one of these skeletons, holding him back. Mm-hmm. And I would just yell back to Roland, Roland, Leytrix is down. We got problems in here. And then at that point, I'll try to hit it.
All right. Defense is a 10.
I rolled a 19 plus whatever. I don't know if I
definitely.
So D6 damage. Do I add anything to that? Let me just look at my equipment. Or my basic attack, and that's just a D6 plus 1. So 3 damage at the first skeleton.
Good. So you kind of smash into these bones a little bit. A few of them kind of splinter apart. Over beside you, Roland, you do have that door between you and the rats at the moment. You could definitely shut, or unless you want to do something else, you can see that they're still moving towards you as he fights this zombie skeleton behind him.
Can I? I'm gonna pass it. Cast behind me, burning beam at one of the skeletons.
Alrighty.
So target their agility.
So their agility is a 7.
I got a 7.
That's a hit then.
Alright, so that takes 1d6.
Let's see against targets.
Take 3 damage.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, behind you, this blast kind of blows into the chest of this thing. You can see several of its ribs kind of get blown apart, shattering behind it, next to you, Zach. And then this thing takes a swing at you, Zach, so it's right in front of you. That's going to be a hit. 5 damage, Zach. Is this thing, kind of takes a step back when it gets hit by this burning beam, and then it just comes in once more, this huge hand coming down and smacking you square in the chest. Let's see, the rats are all still blinded anyway for one more round, I think. Till the end of this round, so yeah. And that would put the end of the round because they can't do nothing. So, Leytrix, I need a 1d6 roll from you. A 1 means that you are currently dying. So as you kind of look down at her, Zach, you can see blood is just spilling from her chest, this open wound. It's kind of seeping out from her mouth, her ears. Leytrix, you're going to be, on your next turn, you'll do a 1d6 again. A 1 is death, you'd be dead. 2 through 5, nothing happens. 6 is you get it back to consciousness. But you're on death's door at the moment, basically. And these things couldn't do anything for the end of this round, so that's the end of that round. And you guys are up. Would you like to go fast or slow? You can see these rats kind of shake their heads a little bit as they realize, they kind of stop being blinded. And they begin to surge forward once more, trying to get through this door to get to you, Roland. Behind you, these skeletons just kind of push on each other, trying to get through this little opening towards you, Zach.
All right, I'll have to be slow to get the Leytrix, right?
Say that again?
I'll have to be slow to get the Leytrix, right?
No, she's right beside you. Nope.
Okay.
I'll go fast.
Okay. Zach, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll be still engaged with the skeletons. One draws its sword across me and cuts me open. And then basically, as I'm just trying to defend Leytrix, I look down at her and just see blood pooling everywhere from where it cut her. Just like yell out to Roland in the heat of the battle, like, you need to help her. She's dying. And then I'll try to hold them back.
Right.
Just basically trying to impose myself so that they can't dogpile us.
Okay.
Hopefully that it's small enough that only one can fight us at a time, at least the skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll swing again. Oh, I didn't mean to roll twice. 16, and I don't actually know if I add anything to those rolls or not. But
the 16 hits anyway.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I do 7 damage this time, max damage.
Cool. So this one, as you kind of hit it, you feel your sword just smash into where its spine would be. Bits and pieces of this thing kind of crumbles, and it just turns to dust in front of you, kind of just drifting to the ground. Moving right in behind it, though, is another one of these creatures as it comes right in. And Roland, you are up. You can see one of these rats push itself through the doorway coming up next to you, another one behind that. Beside you, Leytrix is on the ground bleeding out.
I immediately go down to Leytrix and just whisper a prayer, Marrow, and cast minor healing on her.
All right. What does that heal?
Heal half healing rate.
So we heal half your healing rate, Leytrix. And you would be coming back to consciousness, so if you want to go fast, you still can. Or unless you want to go slow.
Yeah, she would be, at 10 instead of 11. And she would roll over, puke out a whole bunch of blood, reach into her little pack that she holds on her side. I see it's kind of like a messenger bag, maybe, and pulls out a healing potion and takes it.
All right. Heal your healing rate?
Heal my healing rate?
Yep.
Wonderful. And then... Okay, I can only go fast, though?
You could go slow if you wanted to. Either way, you're before them.
Right.
They're all going slow, so...
Right, so I would like to go slow, and she's going to kind of position herself kind of behind the two gentlemen, but she wants to be able to get sight on that rat.
Okay.
And did you say that our little buddy was riding a rat?
Yep, he's in the back riding one of the larger rats, yelling out gibberish in Goblin.
And how far away is he?
He is down around the corner out of sight from where you're at now. Back towards the room you found him in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, down right in this area here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah.
For him.
So this skeleton just kind of comes charging through once more towards you, Zach. And that is going to be a total miss. One of the rats comes around the corner next to you, Roland. You can see it swarming up onto you. Another one right behind that. These two are only ones that can get to you, as they kind of block the way of the other two. The first one is a miss. That one's a hit. The one kind of snaps at you, kind of step out of the way, Roland, but as soon as you do this other one, you can feel its incisor sink right into the back of your calf, and it gives this almost ripping sort of tear sound as it pulls itself free. I need a strength challenge roll from you first.
Got a 4.
All right. You're going to be sickened, which means you get a bane to all your challenge and attack rolls at the moment from disease, and you took 4 damage. You can feel like this disease this thing carries kind of crawling its way up your leg almost instantly. It starts to swell up. You can see your veins kind of turn in this black putrid sort of color. And that's the end of the round because the other ones can't get to you guys. So who would like to go fast?
I'll continue fast.
I would like to go slow.
You're going to go slow.
Yeah, I'll go fast.
Fast, Roland. All right. So, Zach, you have one of these huge creatures still in front of you in that little crevice there. And, Roland, you have 2 rats that are currently on you. The other ones can't get to you just because it's so congested right here. So, you guys are up first.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, antitoxin, get rid of what? The sickness?
Yes. Yes, it will.
Okay. I'm going to swing at the rat with my face.
All right. Defense on this guy is an 11.
19.
Yep.
2 damage to it.
Got it. So you feel your mace kind of crack into the side of this thing's skull. It's one of its eyes literally just pop out of its head and kind of splatter against the wall, and it lets out this screech. Still alive, but not by looking very good. The other one starts to move in towards you, Zach.
Kind of like surveying the scene. I see that the one kind of area down here. Would we not see that with our torch? Or I guess probably because it's so narrow.
Yeah. Plus, you're kind of like right here in this little crevice area, so
I don't have much else to do. I would yell that I can't like hold them off much longer, but I think I'm actually going to do a defensive stance. So I guess that is the equivalent of imposing a bane on them, I guess.
Okay.
And I will just like yell out to Leytrix that like I can't hold them off. Help me out. I'm just gonna try to be more defensive than anything.
Okay. I got it. And they're all going slow, so Leytrix, you are up.
All right. So you said that rat was close to death, right?
Yep. The one that he cracked in the skull with his mace.
All right. Right. Now, if I was to try to go past them, is it like in 5e where they get an attack on me?
Yep, you're going to trigger an attack from 2 of them.
I would. Okay.
Yep. Unless you take disengage, you can take disengage and then move.
I'm looking for my little buddy. Yeah. I'm
he's
looking
up
for
around the corner, so you can't see him where you're at. You could move and see him, but again, yeah, you would trigger an attack.
Yeah, because I wanna life siphon him. I wanna life drain his ass. All right, yeah, she pulls out her sickle and just hacks at the one that was dead. Okay, or almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that here real quick.
Okay. Defense is 11 on these guys.
Right, and that is a strength, right?
Sickle, yes.
Okay. This is not going to be good, but let's see what happens. Yeah, I got a 10, so it was an 11, of course. And then she moves back over closer to Zach and starts screaming at the skeleton.
All right. Trying to get his attention, or
sure. But the thing is that when I dropped that spell turned off, right?
Yes.
It lasts for a minute. Okay, yeah.
You're black.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's he needs help and I want to help him. He and I, as we know, connected pretty good on that last little excursion, so let's do it. Let's do this.
So yeah, this one kind of steps forward against you, Zach, and you imposed a Bane on it, you said, right?
Yeah, I was just reading right now, and it's called a guarded attack. I was supposed to attack with a Bane, and then next attack versus you also suffers a Bane. So
all right, go ahead.
Do that attack?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, natural 20, and then a -2.
Yeah, 18.
So, yep,
and then that's 5 damage, and then he'll now have a Bane on me.
Got it. And so he swings in, and yeah, he got a 0 total. So yeah, he kind of swings through. You kind of shatter off a few more or these rib bones on this thing. And then over on you, Roland, one of these misses, and the other one does hit. So you feel this other one kind of leap in. Its claws tear into your leg a little bit. It starts to scrabble up your leg. You can feel its incisors just tearing at the meat along your leg. It's only 1 point of damage, though.
That's not too bad.
And let's see, none of the other ones can still get to you in here, so that is the end. So you guys are up. Fast or slow?
Keep going fast.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fast again.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna go fast again, but we could talk as a quick and incidental thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She just yells out to Roland, "Let me know when you see our little friend."
You bet your ass I will.
Okay, because I got something for him.
I hope it's shit himself.
Yeah, I don't know so much. I might show you something different today you might not have seen before. And she would like to attack the what's her duty? The skeleton in front of us.
Sure.
Yeah. Just straight up sickles again. This is not her greatest thing. 14.
Yep, that's a hit.
Yeah, 1d6. Blam. Oh, 6.
Oh, nice. So kind of get your sickle wedged in there and maybe kind of give it a yank. You feel several more of these bones pop loose. Some of what it's this armor, whatever it had on it, kind of falls off. One of the shoulders kind of comes loose and falls to the floor. Still up and standing, but it's not looking good. Leytrix went. So Zach and Roland.
Let Roland go first.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep swinging at the rats in front of me.
All right, swing away.
No, I got a 1 on that.
What was it?
A 1.
Oh yeah, that's not a hit. Alrighty. And Zach.
Skeleton in front of me is mostly.
Yep, it's pretty looking bad.
Might as well try to finish it off. And not 20 again. Jeez.
Yep, definitely.
For a whopping 2 damage.
Actually, that'll take it off, so you can describe what you do to this thing.
Yeah, so I've been hacking at it, and I believe Leytrix landed a sickle on it, so we basically like knocking off its rib cages and its bones, and then when it comes in for an attack, kind of just swinging aimlessly on its spinal cord, I'll just like snap in and snap its spinal cord right in half and shove the body off.
Yeah,
I'll yell to the last skeleton, "Come and get me!"
And it does so as it steps into the doorway. That's 24.
I thought you said they couldn't fit through the doorway.
Well, no, not 2 of them at once. Only 1 can fit through at a time. You guys have a bottlenecked in the doorway. So yeah, this one comes in. You can see this heavy blade that it has as it kind of just swings its blade up. Square. Ouch. 11 damage on that one.
Woo.
Zach.
Yeah, I'm down.
So you see this blade kind of come up, catches him in the stomach, and just splits him right up the center as he's thrown back into the wall beside you. Leytrix and kind of slides down the wall.
Come and get me!
It kind of spins its head around, staring at you, Leytrix, and kind of starts to lumber forward. And Leytrix, you are up.
Mm-hmm.
Or no.
All right, give me a second.
It's the end of the round, so actually everybody would be up because the rat king could do anything at the moment. So yeah, my bad. So yeah, whoever's going fast is up.
I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna run and put a healing potion in Zach's mouth.
Alrighty. He's right beside you, so yeah, okay. Well, Zach, you can heal your healing rate then. Let's see, Roland went. So Zach, you can either go fast or slow since you should be awake. And
am I healing? I don't go past my health, right? So once
correct.
I hit dead, I just look up.
Yep.
All right. So healing rate, I kind of start choking on this healing liquid that he's pulling down my throat, but it's enough to feel the surge of pain that the skeleton just caused me. I'll lock eyes with Roland and just like thank you and stand back up and let out a battle cry and charge in at the skeleton. I'm actually going to what's it called? Charge it, where I attack with a bane, but if I hit, I'm gonna knock it prone.
All right.
So,
okay. Now, but
12.
let me get this straight. You know what I mean? I know it's on his turn, but it can't actually leave the room it's in, though, right?
It doesn't look like they're just standing in the doorway. They do fit through, but it hasn't moved because you guys have a bottleneck in the doorway, so you're not sure.
Okay. I was trying to get to a more advantageous position, and if we were to push out of here, it might be a better position for us. So
I rolled
yeah.
12 with the bane.
Fucking hallways suck.
12 is right on the dot. Yep.
So from my understanding, then, do I still do damage?
Yep.
I'm reading
Still
it
do
right now.
damage. Yep.
All right, and 6 damage, and I knock it prone. I almost imagine if you allow it that like I fall on top of it, so maybe like I don't know, hold
Charge
it
it in.
right? Yeah,
Basically knocking this thing to the ground as you hack into it.
yeah.
And you can see it hits the ground hard. Several bones splinter off in different directions. Go ahead.
Here's a quick question, bud. These are not living creatures, right? The skeletons?
No.
Okay. That's why I was looking for my little buddy, because I want to life drain it. You know what I mean? All the death stuff is all living creatures. So,
the rats are living. They're just really nasty looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go slow. So,
all right. Let's see.
And what does prone do here?
Prone gives him a bane on everything. Gives him a bane on everything until he stands up. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
In that case,
I'm gonna move towards Roland.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna move towards Roland, and I'm gonna try to take out that last rat. Right? There's one more rat there, or there's still 2 there?
There's still 2 there, and there's still 2 around the corner.
Okay.
Well, one's around the corner, and then one with Bork riding.
Yeah. Yeah. I swing at the damaged one with my sickle.
Okay. Go for it.
Fuck off.
Swing away at this thing, it just kind of passes off. You give it a little haircut a little bit there, but otherwise completely missed this thing. Let's see. 1 rat is on you, Leytrix, which is a hit for 1 damage. 1 rat is on you, Roland, which is a hit for 3 damage. So this one crawling up your body, Roland, it kind of gets up to your chest area. You can feel its claws sinking in, and it almost starts to kind of like tear into your side, almost like it's trying to bore its way into your stomach as your blood just kind of starts spilling out, pulling out around this thing. The other one on you, Leytrix, you can feel its incisor sink into the back of your leg as it gets a grip on you. I need a strength challenge roll from you, Leytrix. And
17.
You're good. And this one that you have on top of, or that you're on top of.
I took 1 damage?
3.
No, I took 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I took 1. Sorry. The one that you have pinned down on the ground.
He took 3, I took 1, right?
Yep. Kind of flails around trying to get a hold of you. Zach was not quite able to do anything. So that's the end. Behind you guys, you see the last rat come around the corner, and you can still hear Bork yelling in the distance, but it sounds like he's getting further away from you. And everybody's up.
I've got to call your night, guys. I gotta get up.
I'm going slow.
Morning.
Okay. I will have you finish off this battle.
Yeah, I'm out of magic, so I can just keep swinging. I have one healing potion left.
Okay. Yep, I will finish off this battle for you then, man. No problem.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. All right, he's one healing potion. Got it. Alrighty. Go ahead, Leytrix. What were you saying?
I'm gonna go slow.
Oh, you're going slow. And Zach?
I'll go fast.
Alrighty, you're up first then.
All right. So me and the skeleton are basically rolling around on the ground.
Yep.
So not wanting to give up that position, can I just like wall pinning him, make an attack with a bane?
Yep.
And then hopefully he gets to do the same thing towards me. Rolling good tonight with that though. 17.
That's a hit.
And not so good on the damage. 2 more damage. I just like grab him by his bony shoulders and start slamming his head into the ground.
You can see several more splinters kind of splattering off. Leytrix, you are up. Well, I'll have Roland attack real quick. Which is going to be a hit for... So you see Roland kind of just take his mace and swing down, cracking this rat that he has on the side right in the head, and it just drops to the ground with a thump. As he turns around, so now you are up, Leytrix.
All right, so now those two are still alive, though, aren't they?
Yeah, there's 2 rats still left that are alive, and you can hear the one that Bork is riding. It sounds like he's leaving or he's going back away from you. He's still yelling in the distance, but it's kind of echoing down, but it looks like he's getting away from you.
Yeah, I am screaming his name. And I said, "Why did you fuck me, Bork? Why did you do that?" And I'm going to disengage from these rats, and I'm going to move as far down that hallway as I possibly can.
All right. So you kind of step away. Come around the corner. You can see Bork is way down by where that grate is. Those been blown open way down here. He's kind of pulling himself through that grate on this rat. He's getting ready to like ride out of here. You can reach about halfway towards him.
Does that put me at short?
Not yet. No, you'd still be at least medium. If you took a dash or a charge next round, you'd be able to reach him.
Right. I scream at him to stop. You know what I mean? Trying to intimidate him slightly, if possible. And I say, "It's going to be a bad day if you do not stop."
He says, "Bork, smart goblin. Bork, run!" And he just keeps galloping on this rat, trying to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, sure. Great. So if he's at medium range, we're at the next turn, or do they get to do things? Whatever. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
we're going to see him shit himself here in a minute.
He's just trying to ride away. So let's see. Zach, you got the one that's on you, has a bane, which is a miss. With Leytrix gone, the other 2 rats other 2 rats focus on Roland. Miss, and both miss. So you can see they scramble up on Roland, starting to tear at him and stuff. He's able to keep these things at bay for the moment. And that's the end of the round, so you guys are up.
All right, you know my strategy, fast it is.
Yep.
And I'm going to assume that she needs to move, so she's going slow. So I'm just going to...
I'm going slow.
Now that I've broken this thing a bit, can I like basically stand above it and then with my sword in hand, just double hand, like full on drop down, stab it in the skull?
Certainly.
All right. 18. Wow, that's some good rolls.
Nice, dude.
And damage.
3.
That'll take it out.
It's like, die, you son of a bitch! And then as I crack his skull, I realize that it's already dead, but you know what I mean? As I just like sit in the rim sweating and bleeding everywhere.
Its skull kind of splits apart onto the floor. Behind you can hear Roland swinging away at these rats, trying to get them off them as they're crawling all over, which he totally misses as well. And Leytrix, you are up. Up ahead, you can see Bork getting away. Behind you can hear those 2 yelling as they're fighting off these rats and this last skeleton.
All right. If I move, does that put me into medium?
Yes. Yep. Or short. It'll put you into short.
It doesn't make me short though, right?
Right.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna hateful defecation. And yeah, I'm aiming at Mr. Bork himself.
Right.
His health 10 or less?
Yeah, his health is 9.
It's a 9?
Yep.
Yeah, he has a very bad day.
You have to roll though. Let's see. If the target's health is 10 or less, it dies instantly through the blood.
Yep.
Oh, so you don't even have to make an attack roll. So yeah.
Yeah. So what happens here is I'd like to flavor this a little bit, okay?
Go for it.
He begins to feel he begins to feel the pressure of his body pushing outward, okay? All of his body is going to stop, and it's going to stop him dead in his tracks. And I say out to him, I say, there's 2 things that can happen here, Bork. You can continue to explode the way you're going to, or I can stop this spell, and you can turn around and tell me why you screwed us.
You can just see his body expanding more and more. It just begins to vomit, pours from his ears. His stomach kind of splits open.
Right.
Looks like he's getting ready to say something, but
and then he explodes.
Yep.
That's fine. If he would have been, you know what I mean? If he was so smart as he thought he was, maybe he would have stopped. But whatever. Big bada boom.
Boom.
And what happens to his little rat friend? After being doused with all of him.
It's probably still scurrying away, but it's just covered in gore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can imagine that it would do that.
Scurries out of this tunnel. You see the one rat kind of jump off of Roland towards you, Zach, which is going to be a hit for 2 damage. And the other one that's on Roland misses still. So it continues to kind of scramble around him. That's the end of the round, so you guys are up. Roland's going to go fast, and he will take that one out. So Roland just hurries up and, grabs a hold of this thing, throwing it to the ground, and with a quick movement, just steps on its skull. You can hear a crunch underneath as he takes this one out. Zach and Leytrix?
Whatever, I'll go fast.
All right, go for it. There's 1 rat left.
So I imagine as I'm finishing off the skeleton and just kind of take a moment to take a deep breath that I've dealt with him, I'm quickly taken again by the rat that comes behind me, and I try to roll over and grab it, and it's laying on top of me. I'm just holding my hand in its jaw as it's biting down, just yelling out in pain. I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" And then I'll just try to take my blade and stick it into the thing's skull, laying on the ground. 14 to hit, and oh my god, 2 damage.
It's got 1 left. And Leytrix?
Yeah.
I'm gonna movements away from them.
Slow. So right. I'm gonna go slow so I can move back towards up where Roland is. Does that put you back to where they are?
Yeah, that would be. You'd have to take a double move
to where Roland is. Okay. All right. Yeah, and then I'll swing at that rat that he can't hit.
Well, you would have to take a double move, so you wouldn't have an action left to attack.
Oh, okay. I will take the 1 move and then cast Black Tongue on myself again.
Okay.
And then that's all. That's my spells for today. To tell you the truth. So.
With that, let's see. The rat attacks.
Thought about saving it for her.
Ooh. That one's going to hit for another 1 point of damage. Zach, this just continues to chew on your hand.
I'm back to dead.
So it kind of scrabbles up, finally letting loose your hand before kind of sinking right down into your throat. You can hear this thing just tearing at him up ahead, Leytrix. And Roland is up. He has an attack left. And actually, that's a total crit. He'll end up killing it. It has 1 hit point left. So with that, he just kind of steps in with his heavy swing and crushes this rat off the top of you, Zach. And that's the end of the combat. And he'll give you his last healing potion, Zach, so heal your healing, right?
Just laying on the ground, breathing heavily, bloody everywhere.
Yeah.
Just well, that was something.
And that was everybody?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. She would definitely scurry. Yeah, well, not scurry. That sounds stupid. She would definitely run back over to where the guys are, and we certainly need to take a moment here. I would like to step in the room and kind of look around, and kind of see what it looks like. Oh, I closed that door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I would go in where both of them are and suggest that we, I've closed the door. If we're in here quiet, I think that we'll be all right for a little bit. How long is a rest in this game? Is there a short rest in this game?
Nope, there's a full 8 hours.
Hell
Fuck,
no, I don't think we ain't going to get
Hell
no
no.
moments in here.
Hell no. It's kind of is what it is.
I'm gonna check
What's
my
that?
other healing potion.
Okay,
Thank you.
What's the room look like?
So this room that you're in is up there with the little 3 cask. Well, it's actually 4 caskets total in this room.
Okay.
You see each one has this big brass plating at the bottom. It looks like the caskets themselves, they're made in a heavy oak sort of caskets. They're bound into iron bars, and then they've been chained in like heavy steel chains as well. The bands have been burst apart. The chains have been burst apart. The wood's been, blown apart as well. Everything in here is just completely obliterated. There's all these ruins and circles all around the floor. Little candles that were starting to kind of spit and sputter as they're into their wax. At the base of each one of these caskets is this big brass plaque. Let me read it to you. This says, "Here lies Doromia Smith, beheaded for the crime of witchcraft in the year of our kingdom, 593. They each say the same thing, but you see Doromia Smith, Kelwyn Sykes, Morgan Inswood, and Aria Black. You see 4 of the 5 caskets are gone, or burst open. You don't see a 5th one anywhere, which would be Lexaria Damas, which would be Alexia's mom. But it looks like these 4 caskets were the witches, where they were just kind of entombed and buried.
I would like to look at the remains of the skeletons. I've seen both male and female skeletons. Does it seem as if these are female skeletons?
No, they're very large, probably 10, 11 foot tall, male. Very huge bone.
Okay. Yeah. You see where I'm going with that, though. You know what I mean? Like, women have more of like an indentation in their chest area, so on and so forth. With the skeletons, so you can tell it's male or female.
No, they were human.
They're just shaped. Yeah.
They're much bigger.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Zach, Roland, she's gotten what she came here for. She's not here anymore.
Yep.
I think that we should just leave.
Roland.
What's in this area?
Nothing. It's just a little side chamber, but it's just completely empty.
Quickly check down here too.
Completely empty. Okay. Yeah.
If you step down there,
and then we'll.
Yep. As you step down there, Zach, you see it's a large room. The room itself is empty, except for right in the center is this pool of black water. You can only see a couple inches into it before it's just blackness, and it sinks down into the floor. It's kind of like a fountain, so it stands up above the floor about a foot or so, like a stone ring. But the ring itself is just full of black water.
Okay. That doesn't seem like anything interesting.
Yeah, I'll take. I kind of feel, I didn't change anything as far as the damage or anything like that, but I feel like I'm carrying like a full, like almost death sickle, like a big one. Mm-hmm. I take the end of it and I stick it into the water.
It goes down about a foot or so before it hits something solid, kind of wiggle it around or whatever. You pull it out and you can see that like a piece of like an old femur or something stuck to it. It's all calcified over. Looks like it's been there for centuries. Like a femur, a bone. A very large bone.
Okay.
And then, I kind of stir it around a little bit. You know what I mean? Does it feel like anything's in there besides, when I pull it back out, is there any bones or anything? More bones
you
or
stir it
anything?
around, whatever. It just looks like it's tons and tons of bones in this thing.
Yeah.
On the floor, you can see there's several
Nothing for us
small.
to hear.
You can see a couple small little ruins carved into the floor and another little candle. You recognize these ruins back in the other room, and this one is necromancy.
All right. Can I use perception on those and use occult?
For what are you looking for?
I want to look at those runes.
Like, yeah, but you know they're necromancy. Are you looking like what they are exactly, or?
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think with my study of occult and so on and so forth, I may have some idea. Is that possible? Do you think, or no?
Yep. Give yourself an intellect challenge roll with a boon.
An intellect roll with a boon, huh?
That's one of the things I love about the system is you can find ways to help yourself if you. Oh, come on, game.
Well, you do,
Chris used up all the good rolls.
You recognize that they are necromancy ruins. It looks like perhaps something with either conjuration or animation or something like that. You get the sense that there was rituals done here to animate these skeletons, which are the same ones that you just fought.
Yeah.
And same thing when you're in the other chamber. It looks like in the other chamber there where the caskets are, as you kind of glance around, you do see this large spool of thread in the corner and this really heavy-duty needle. Otherwise, all the ruins, again, are necromancy. It looks like some sort of rejuvenation or animation rituals of some sort or something. Necromancy of that sort. Exactly what it is, you're not sure, but it's definitely some sort of necromantic animation sort of thing.
That girl is practicing some very interesting magic, I think, my friends.
You do notice as well that all these ruins stuff are very crude. From Leytrix's experience, these need to be perfect in order to work. Are they fresh? They're fresh, but they're very crudely drawn. The circles are broken. It's very amateurish. But at the same time, if she made these skeletons, presumably if she made these skeletons, then she must have that kind of power of necromancy is really high, but yet her technique is very amateurish, so it doesn't quite line up.
Right. And she told us, that she reads everything from a book. So it'd be as if somebody was reading from a book and not having the master. He hasn't mastered these things. They're maybe trying them for the first time, and they're reading it from a book.
Yep. But for her to be able to have created those skeletons, like you saw, they're much higher end.
Okay.
She should have had access to it.
Right. Yeah, this is. I think she's very much. If it's her, she's traveling a very slippery slope, Zach. I don't think she knows what she's really doing.
Either that or someone is using her, making. Maybe she's not.
Could be that too.
Wrong.
Absolutely.
But anyways, they said that their chieftain is soon to arrive here, and I feel like absolute shit. So I think, even though I'm curious as to what else is in this area, I do not want to be caught with my pants down, Leytrix. I think it's time we get the hell out of here.
Roland nods. He's looking pretty rough as well. He says, "Yeah, I think we best huddle.
We could come back tomorrow during the day.
We need Eustis if we're going to come back here for sure."
Yeah, let's make our way back. And she's clutching her side and her shoulder and such. Yeah, it's
nice. And we will call it there for the night then, as you guys head out of this dungeon.
Cool. I thought we might die there for a second.
I would like, on the way out, I'd like to look in the room that Bork was in. Is there anything in there?
Just where he's cleaned it up, and it has the chieftain's bed set up and stuff like that, but nothing.
There's nothing in there?
Different. Nothing different.
Okay. Do I find the 6 copper I gave him?
Hell no, he's pocketed that.
Yeah, well, I know where his body is. I'm gonna pick that up on the way out.
Well, his body isn't there anymore, but
but his clothes are. So I'm gonna look at his stuff, and I'm taking my 6 copper back. Fuck that dude.
All right. You guys will level up. I'll put that in the chat just so everybody knows.
All right. Is
That
that
was
a
cool, man.
Is that
Really
a lengthy
cool.
process? Can we do that after this call ends really quickly? Because I don't know how to level up.
Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it would take just like 2 seconds. So,
so
we can do that off cam now.
Yep, I'm going to end this up. Thanks anybody who watched. And let me stop this.